afternoon, Ma'am Yel. Okay na po, bebe.
So yan, good afternoon po. Ano po, Ma'am Lali? Thank you po for answering my question. So yan, at exactly 12:45, ang dami na po talagang nakapasok. Ano ibig sabihin? We are all excited to witness our afternoon session of our School Learning Action Cell Online School Capacity Building on Basic Education Research for Dayap Elementary School Teaching Personnel. So we are in the afternoon session and meron pa po tayong natitirang dalawang magagaling na speakers this afternoon at yan, parang nasa loob na po sila. Ano po? And we are just waiting the other member of our afternoon session. At while we are waiting them, akin pong tatawagin po ang bawat grade level for us to check kung sila po ba ay naka-enter na sa ating Gmeet. Ano po? So again, good afternoon at mag-i-start na po ako ng ating roll call. So yan, for us to start, mag-start tayo sa grade 4. So naandyan na po ba ang ating mga kasamahang grade 4 teachers?
Present.
Yun. Sir Joel, present na.
Present po.
Ay, Anak Griselda, parang nasa kasiyahan tayo. So, ayan. Si Ma'am Ann, merong background music. Ano po? So, Paskong Pasko na. Dito din sa amin, ganun. Kanina si Max nagpapatugtog Nagpapatugtog sa kanyang kwarto ng Christmas song. So, ayan. And, si Ma'am Lance, nandyan na po ba ang Ma'am Lani? And Sir Joel, nandyan na. Si Ma'am Lani. So, yan. Wala pa. So, siguro po ay tinatapos lang po ang kanilang pagla-lunch. Ano po? So, yan. Tayo po ay dadako naman ngayon sa grade 5. So, yan si Ma'am Lali.
Ma'am Yel, present.
Yun. Si Ma'am Kim, naandyan na rin. Narinig ko na rin. Meron pa po ba? Ma'am Lali, kumpleto na po kayo. Thank you po. So, Sir Matt, nandyan na din.
Ayun na po ang Sir Matt.
Opo,
ang Sir Emil and Ma'am Karen. Wala pa po. And Sir Lito.
So, yan. Siguro po ipapasok na din po sila. Ano po? Kasi po
Ma'am
ay,
Yel.
okay. Thank you very much po. Si Ma'am, grade 3. Grade 3 teachers.
Present po.
Yun, si Ma'am She. Ang Sir Rick, naandyan na rin po. So, siguro po ang Ma'am Joan ay... Yun, good afternoon din, sir. Siguro po, Ma'am Joan ay papasok na rin po. Nag-iintay lang po siguro matapos ang kanilang lunch po. Kasi po, syempre tayo, mga nanay, at nagpe-prepare po tayo ng mga food para po sa ating mga anak. Ano po? So, next is grade 2. Ang grade 2 po, kumpleto na po ba?
Present po, ma'am. Kulang po kami ng 2 pa lang. Papasok na din po, ma'am. Hindi lang po maganda ang internet connection ng mga
po. Sige po, Ma'am May. Thank you very much po. Nagkakaroon po tayo ng problema sa internet kasi mahangin po. So, ang sabi po, nagagalaw daw po yung mga wires. So, that's why nagkakaroon tayo ng konting technical problem po. Ano po? Grade 1 po. Grade 1.
Yung ano ko mag-open. Sandali po.
Ayan. Okay na po, Ma'am Lainey. Kita ko na po kayo. Kumpleto na po ba ang grade 1? Ang Ma'am Leanne po, naandyan na din. Nakita ko. Ang Ma'am Lainey, si Ma'am Sonia. So, ang Ma'am Ruby po. Siguro, nasa school po ba? Naka-off ang microphone ng Ma'am Lainey.
Wala pa po ata ang Ma'am Ruby.
Okay po. Siguro po ipapasok na rin po ang Ma'am Ruby. Ano po? So yan, thank you very much grade 1 teachers. Ang atin pong mga grade 6 teachers.
Kaway-kaway!
Yan, kaway-kaway. Nasa school pa lang, mga ma'am and sir. Mga ma'am. So yan, si Ma'am Maiden, nakita ko na din. Kompleto po ang grade 6. Thank you very much po. Ang kinder teacher po natin.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon po.
Nasa link na po ang Ma'am Em po.
Okay.
Pero ang Ma'am Ferlin po ay parang di pa po nakikita. Baka po papasok na rin.
Okay
Thank
po.
you po.
So yun po. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Noemi. So yan, most of the members of our faculty are all present in our GMIT for us to have our afternoon session of our School Learning Action Cell. At hindi ko na po patatagalin pa. Yan, good afternoon din po kay Mama Cora. Nasa loob na din po siya ng ating GMIT. Isang magandang hapon po ulit sa ating lahat. So this is just a continuation of our discussion. So from yesterday up to this afternoon. Ano po? And we all know naman na napaka-fruitful ng lahat ng mga shinare ng ating mga resource speaker. Not just this day, simula kahapon, yan talaga namang magagamit natin. And at the same time, before we end our session kaninang umaga, and maraming salamat kay Ma'am Ana Criselda Galiste because they asked us, all the teachers of Dayap Elementary School, if we are ready for our research. And according to us, according to the members of the faculty, diniscuss doon na meron na po pala tayong mga target topics para sa ating research. And we all know na each topic na atin pong naisip ay talaga naman pong makakatulong ng malaki sa ating pong mga mag-aaral sa ating paaralan. Sabi nga, ang kaalaman at pag-aaral ng mga guro ay hindi po natatapos kasi sa atin po kumukuha ng lakas, ng talino, and at the same time, sa atin din po nanggagaling ang kaalaman na isi-share naman po natin sa ating mga mag-aaral. So that's why, bilang teacher, hindi pwedeng mahinto ang ating pagkatuto para din po ganun po sa ating mga bata, sa ating pong mga mag-aaral. So again, good afternoon. Hindi ko na po patatagalin pa. Akin na pong tinatawagan. Alam ko po na lahat tayo ay tawag dito, na-energized ng ating mga lunch na kinain. Alam ko po na nakapag-ready tayo ng masarap na tanghalian. So that's why tayo po ay kumbaga fully charged this afternoon para po ma-absorb natin ang lahat po ng isi-share po sa atin na knowledge ng dalawa nating magagaling na speakers. So again, everybody, atin pong pasalubungan ng virtual na pagpalakpak ang una po nating resources speaker this afternoon to be discussed, innovation and strategies in the new normal. Everybody, let us welcome our first resources speaker this afternoon, Ma'am Maiden U.S. Lera.
Thank you po, Ma'am Yel. Good afternoon po sa lahat. Good afternoon po, Ma'am Cora. So, yan po, mag-start na po ako. Hindi ko na po patatagalin. Ano po? Di ba, dahil tayo ay nasa bago, new normal, ano? So, madalas talaga nagpe-Facebook tayo. At sa Facebook, makikita natin ang una doon, what's on your mind? Tama po ba? So, what's on your mind? Francis, di ba yan ang gano'n ang nakikita natin sa Facebook? Pwede mo bang sagutin, Sir Joel? What's on your mind, Francis?
What's on my mind?
Yes, Francis.
Aside sa topic natin, na research, na medyo mahaba-habang talakayan at mahaba-habang proseso ang ating pagdadaanan lahat, ang nasa isip ko rin ay kung paano humanggap, kung paano mabawasan ang aking kabusugan. Sobrang busog.
Oo, para hindi antukin na, no, Sir Francis.
Oo, pwedeng mag-soft drinks.
Sige, sir, thank you. Let me hear nga po from Ma'am Shirley. What's on your mind, Shirley? Di ba ganun yung nakikita natin sa Facebook, Ma'am She? What's on your mind, Shirley? Ma'am She, andyan ka ba, Ma'am She?
Opo, Ma'am Den, nandito ako.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Shirley. Tapos ka na bang mag-lunch?
Opo, medyo yung sa ano natin, sa research natin. Katulad ni Sir Joel, busog na busog. Parang gusto kong kumain ngayon ng ice cream.
Ang sarap naman nun, Ma'am Shirley. Sige, Ma'am
So,
Shirley.
ayun.
Pwede mo din siyang i-post at padalhan kami dahil birthday ng Ninang Pe. Happy birthday, Ninang Pe. Ayun po. Thank you po, Ma'am Shirley. Bakit po ako nagtanong ng what's on our mind doon? Katulad sa Facebook. Kasi po, according po kay Sir Vista, ay bagong strategy din yun. Yes, Ma'am Nona, you're raising your hand. Sige po. What's on your mind, Nona?
Napindot lang po, pero sasagot na rin.
Sige, go, Ma'am.
Make impossible be possible.
Oh, wow. Paki-explain. Hindi, Ma'am. Opo. Thank you, Ma'am Nona. Ayan. Opo. So, itutuloy ko po. Yung pong, according po kay Sir Vista, bago din, it's a new form of conducting virtual survey din po. Yan, yung ganung pagtatanong katulad sa Facebook, tapos yung katulad ng ginagawa natin, type 1, type 2, ganun sa Google Meet. So, to continue po, yung topic ko po is about innovation and strategy in the new normal. And then yung video po na ipepresent ko, ay ang magdi-discuss po ay si Ma'am Nilda, si Dr. Nilda San Miguel. Kung kilala niyo po siya, ang alam ko po ay siya ay principal sa Masamang Elementary School. Tama po ba ako? And then po, nung una ko po kasi siyang narinig, actually itong i-share ng Sir Rick na video, padalong beses ko na po siyang narinig. Padalong beses po ito, Sir Rick. At thank you po. Nung una ko po kasi siyang narinig, marites lang po ng konti para matanggal po ng antok bago tayo tumuloy sa video. Nung una ko po kasi siyang narinig, yung huli ko pong inatenan na research sa mathematical investigation, medyo tumatak po talaga sa akin si Ma'am Nils dun sa mga speaker. Ayan, sina Sir, yung kanina yung kay Ma'am Jo, natandaan ko din po siya, si Sir Tipan. And then ito po si Ma'am Nils yung isa. Before po kasi, katulad din po natin, na alam ko po na mas marami sa atin na hindi po natin yung maikakaila, na mas marami po sa atin na hindi pa hindi pa natin ganun ka ini-embrace ang research. Tama po ba ako? Na hindi pa tayo ganun, o baka ako lang po ang nag-iisip. Kasi personally po, hindi din ako ganun sa writing. And then ito si Ma'am Nilda po, si Ma'am Nils ay doon din siya nag-start. At etong dahil nga sabi ng principal, sabi niya nga, kailangan natin maging resilient kung anong meron, kailangan natin siyang i-adapt, kailangan natin mag-adjust bilang educator. At itong research na to, malaki ang naging part sa kanya kung anong na-achieve niya, kung anong meron siya ngayon. And then ito si Ma'am Nils ay magaling siyang speaker, nag-start siya 2015, and then nakarating siya dahil sa research, nakarating siya sa iba-ibang bansa to attend research forum, ganun. Yun yung malaking epekto ng research sa kanya. And then, di ba yung 5 E's, familiar po tayo doon, na 7 E's ngayon, siya din po yung proponent nun, si Ma'am Nilda. So, isa-share ko na po yung video about innovation strategy in the new normal. 2 parts po ito. Ang una po ay yung virtual survey, and then yung second part po yung mga suggested problem or topic na pwede natin siyang gamitin or kuhaan kung wala pa po tayong naiisip na mga problem para po makapagbuo tayo ng topic. Para sa ating gagawin at maipapasa at magagamit din natin. Para din po sa atin. Kailangan din nating maging resilient. Katulad ng Ma'am Nils. Sir Jo, pwede po akong mag-share ng screen? Mag-share na po ako, ha? Oops. Wait lang po at nawala. Ayaw pong Ayun. Nakain si Ma'am Shirley ng ice cream. Ang sarap naman naman siya. Ito po. Saan ba dito ang food? Wait lang po ha.
Sige po, ma'am. Sige po.
Okay po. So, as I have said, this virtual survey is used by the researchers in this time of new normal because they find it out that very effective in conducting research. Why? Because it is time and cost efficient, reduces error during data transcription, also enables the use of multimedia elements, and contributes to lowering the carbon dioxide.
Lang po, hindi ko lang po makita yung screen. Tuloy ko na pa.
Dalawa siguro yung bukas mo na microphone. Cellphone tsaka laptop.
Ako, ma'am? Hindi po. Isa lang po gamit ko, ma'am. Wait lang po bago ako mag-share ha. Hindi ko lang po makita kung saan i-fill para makitang buo. Share ko na po. Kay Ma'am Share po yung open.
Or the transfer of coronavirus. It is also a footprint associated with traveling for field-based data collection. And there are different uses and types of virtual survey. Next slide, sir. So, we have there the classroom assessment. The next one is the social and gender assessment. Also, household surveys, public consultation, and it is used for monitoring during implementation. So, classroom assessment is one of the obligations of teachers right now, and also the researchers in conducting action research. And this virtual survey is very effective in assessing our classes. And also for social and gender assessment, household surveys, public consultation, wherein big companies and institutions are adopting this type of strategy in conducting their research with regards to the concerns of their institution and organization. And there are also inclusions in this virtual survey. The first inclusion is what we call the computer-assisted telephone interview. This is where the interviewer communicates with respondents remotely and enters their responses in a computerized questionnaire. The next one is the computer-assisted web interviews. Data is collected via online surveys through a web interface. Respondents answer the questions on their own computer, tablet, or smartphones. And also in this inclusion, the researchers include Google Forms. So this is very familiar in our situation. This Google Form used to gather and collect data through surveys, quizzes, events, registration sheets. Kaya po tayo ay mabilis na nako-collect at namomonitor ang mga nag-i-evaluate at nagre-register because we are using this type of web-based. Also, this Google Forms is a free online tool that allows us to collect information easily, not only easily, but efficiently. The third one is the computer-assisted personal interviewing. This inclusion collects data using tablets or mobile phones. Data is transferred to a survey management website. The fourth inclusion in this strategy is the social media surveys. Data is collected through platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, also WeChat. Another effective one is the group chat. The fifth one is the virtual focus group discussion. This inclusion is a video conferencing and chat platforms are being used to bring together participants for a structured discussion like this one. Platforms include Zoom, Google Meet, Skype, also MS Teams, and WeChat groups. So those are the popular choices, platforms being used in this new normal, and one of the inclusion in this innovation and strategy in conducting an action research. The next one is the text message survey, the very common. It was found out that text messages allow researchers to reach more participants easily. While only 20 to 30% of emails are opened, you know what? 98% of texts are opened. On average, it takes 90 minutes for a response to an email, but only 90 seconds for a response to a text message. Next inclusion is what we called the mobile application. A mobile application is a type of application designed to run on a mobile device, which can be a smartphone or tablet or any electronic device. These applications manage to provide researchers with quality services and experiences. And the last one is what we called the mixed method virtual survey, was this one. The data is collected and is being used in a variety of virtual survey methods, or there is a combination of virtual and face-to-face methods. But once na mag-follow po tayo dito sa face-to-face method, we'll be using this one, we need to follow, of course, the AITF protocol. Now, I'll be sharing with you the different advantages of this strategy. The first one is the recruitment and replacement of survey participants in efficient and effective way. So very effective po ito sa mga organizations, sa mga institutions when they are recruiting para sa mga HR department. So hindi lamang po sa education ito ginagamit ng mga researchers, mga educators, but also sa mga big companies. Okay, the next one is web-based control platforms enable immediate data export and real-time data availability as the survey is underway. On the second spot, data increases data quality. Data gaps or unclear statements can be identified and clarified immediately with respondents. And that's number three. Number three advantage of the virtual survey. The next one, virtual surveys allow for a system of records accessible and referenceable throughout the research life and enable data analytics for progress monitoring. So very efficient and very effective po ito when it comes to monitoring. They are cheaper, reduce or eliminate travel and extensive data entry costs, and can be conducted in less than or less time than conventional ones. So very convenient if you're going to use this strategy in gathering your data. This also reduce the carbon dioxide emission linked to travel and lessen, of course, the use of paper and of printed materials. With these advantages, I would like also to give you the 3 disadvantages of using this virtual survey. So if there are advantages, of course, meron din mga disadvantages. And the first one is people without mobile phones, with poor mobile network access, especially dun po sa mga rural areas, or who have low digital literacy may be left out in virtual surveys, leading to sampling bias. It is also difficult to provide incentives for respondents, and this can reduce the interest because providing incentives can boost their interest and their cooperation. So this is one of the limitation of using the virtual survey. Participants can incur costs for mobile or internet access charges when answering the survey or downloading survey forms or apps. So that could be one of the possible problems that we will be encountering if we're going to use this strategy.
Ma-post ko lang po ng konti. Di ba po, Ma'am Jo, kung naaalala mo yun, magkakandak tayo ng survey nun, kailangan may dala tayo ng something, dadala tayo ng incentive para mas mabilis ma-retrieve yung questionnaire, di ba? Ganun yung ginagawa natin. Ganun pa din ba ang naabot ninyo, Ma'am Dil? O dito na kayo sa virtual survey? Ganun pa din ba ang inyo, Ma'am Ann? Kasi nung sa panahon namin, di ba, Sir Matt, kailangan talagang malaking part yung sa incentive na binibigay natin sa respondents at saka dun sa principal kung saan tayo magkakandak ng survey. Kahit sa kung estudyante yung gagamitin natin, meron din tayong small token para doon. Ano po? Yun. So, tuloy ko na po, ha?
Pero ang mahalaga po, mas marami yung advantages. Okay, now, for the steps in conducting a virtual survey. So how are we going to conduct this one? The first one is to design the virtual survey. Now, in designing the virtual survey, first, we have to define the objectives of the survey. And also, to identify the target groups, the types of questionnaires needed for the various respondent segments, also the sample size, and the geographical distribution. The next steps in conducting this virtual survey is to organize the survey team. So this is just applicable if you have a wide scope ng inyong research to be conducted. And also, if you have a big population, so kailangan nyo ng team para mag-gather nyo ng maayos ng yung inyong mga data ay magkakaroon tayo ng sa pag-gather natin ay mayroon tayong sistema if you have a team. Pero kung school lamang po at mga estudyante natin or teachers or at least 2 to 3 schools, pwede na po tayo nun. Hindi na natin kailangan mag-create ng team. This is just applicable kung masyadong malaki yung population natin. The third one is to find a suitable virtual platform and a survey software. Consider software that is commonly used in the research area na i-conduct po natin ito. It must be easy to use, to download, and to install. Halimbawa po, rural area yung doon tayo magko-conduct ng ating research. So, hindi naman po tayong pwedeng magbigay ng software na unfamiliar yung ating mga respondents. So, this software must be common dun sa area na magko-conduct tayo ng ating research. Note that yung mga version at platforms na gagamitin po natin ay alam natin ang limitations and capabilities of our respondents. And also, the fourth steps in conducting this virtual survey is to prepare the electronic questionnaire. Ano-ano ang katangian ng mga questionnaires na ito? Make the questionnaires as simple as possible. Let us avoid and let us not use highfalutin words. This should be tested prior to implementation. Now, sino pa ang magte-test? Sino ang mag-validate? Of course, experts. Kapag ang research po nyo ay it talks about math, So pwede tayong lumapit sa mga experts, those who earned master degree in mathematics or PhD in mathematics, and also the higher ups sa atin na capable na mag-valid at nang mag-test ng ating questionnaire. And the fifth one is to conduct the virtual survey. We have to encourage the participation of our respondents na yung cooperation ay makuha talaga po natin. And also, we need to keep the contact information of our respondents. What are those contact informations? Telephone number, dapat nakarecord po sa atin yan. Also, their messenger, their Facebook, even if they have email. Bakit po natin kailangang i-keep ang lahat ng iyon? For us to be used if we have clarifications on their answers. Minsan kasi may mga vague na sagot or medyo gray and cloudy, hindi natin makuha yung tinutumbok ng sagot nila. So pwede tayo makipag-communicate sila for some clarifications. And also, the sixth one is to complete the assessment based on virtual survey results. We need to complement the assessment with literature review and to triangulate with relevant studies if available. And the last step is to go beyond one-time surveys. Establish a private social media group. So, meron tayo dapat na sariling GC sa ating mga respondents. So, hindi pwede na ito ay nakapublic yung paghingi natin ng mga sagot sa kanila. Kasi we will go against the private data privacy law. So, kailangan ay sinisecure natin ang interest and ang security ng mga personal informations ng ating mga respondents. And there are recommendations I'll be sharing with you if you're going to use this virtual survey. The first one is to use the mix method. So yung mix method po, pwedeng virtual. We can also have a face-to-face or paper-based. This is used to increase the participation of people with low levels of digital literacy or limited access to smartphones or mobile network. Hindi naman po kasi lahat ng respondents na pwede nating makuha ay available ang kanilang mga electronic devices. So, minsan may kailangan tayong makuha ng mga sagot pero they are not capable na makasagot sa mga Google Forms. So, pwede tayong mag face-to-face, just follow the AITF protocol. The next one, recommendation is to keep it simple. So our questionnaire should be short with no more than 30 questions. I-limit po natin doon. If using mobile apps, this must be straightforward and intuitive. Wala na pong paligoy-ligoy yung mga tanong natin. Straightforward kung ano yung gusto nating makuha na sagot. The instructions also in our questionnaire must be clear. Bakit po? Why we need to make our instruction clear enough para maintindihan nila? For them to overcome the challenges and also for us of limited face-to-face interaction. You can enhance communication with respondents to solve issues and answer questions during the survey using chat platforms, also text or email or call. So, yun po yung mga pwede natin gawin for us to make the instructions clearer sa ating mga respondents. And also, let us have a good quality panel data that can save time and cost of recruitment work. So, this is applicable dun sa mga HR department. Ano po? Invest in training your survey team. We are about to invest kung malaki po ang team natin at kung malaki yung scope ng ating study na i-conduct. So we need to have a training team para mabilis natin, efficient and effective yung pag-gather natin. So in this time of pandemic, siguro hindi natin to ma-apply sa atin na makapag-conduct tayo ng mas malawak na sakop ng ating research. If possible, provide tokens or appreciation to the respondents for their time and to increase their interest in participating. So mga simple tokens ay ma-appreciate na po ng ating mga respondents para maramdaman lang nila na they are part at vinavalue natin at binibigyan natin ng pagpapahalaga ang kanilang kooperasyon at ang kanilang pakikiisa while we are conducting our research. Plan enough time for the development of virtual tools. So this slide po, makikita nyo, when we are conducting our research, nagbibigay po kami ng mga simple tokens sa teachers at sa respondents. These children, ito po yung mga ginamit namin nung nag-conduct po kami ng action research na book na po ngayon na may ISBN at published na rin po. Ito po yung Mathematics in Nature. So this was conducted 2 months ago. Okay po. Now I'll be giving you the qualitative and the quantitative methods for data collection during this time of pandemic. But let me give you the difference between the quantitative and the qualitative methods. Okay. So, a quantitative research is explaining phenomena by collecting numerical data that are analyzed using mathematically based methods. In particular po sa statistics, qualitative research seeks to answer questions about why and how people behave in the way they do. It provides an in-depth information about human behavior. In a nutshell, qualitative research generates textual data or non-numerical. So, description lamang po ito. Whereas a quantitative research, on the contrary, of course, it produces numerical data or information that can be converted into numbers. Now, under quantitative methods, ay mayroon po tayo dyan na data mining, surveys and questionnaires, secondary data sources. So, under po ng data mining, ang Twitter, Facebook, under ng surveys and questionnaires, email, web-based, secondary data sources po ay survey data, government, and journals. Now, let me share with you something on these methods. Sa Twitter po, Twitter allows us to easily, sir, dun pa rin po tayo sa quantitative, sir. Twitter allows you to easily promote your research. For example, you are providing links to your blog stories, journal articles, and news items. It reaches a large number of people quickly through tweets, and you can also have retweets. Follow the work of other experts in your field. So, napaka-accessible po nitong Twitter in gathering data. The next one is the Facebook. Facebook has now become, alam na po natin lahat yan, the most popular social networking tool among university-aged youth. Hindi nga lang po university-aged youth kahit nga po batang maliit ay talagang very familiar na sila in using Facebook. Its popularity has transformed it into an acceptable platform for educational purposes. And we all know that the use of Facebook is currently more suited to facilitate online interaction among learning participants. And as a matter of fact, there is a study being conducted in Malaysia that out of 1,050 students, only 13 students did not use Facebook. So, hindi sila familiar doon. At dito po sa Pilipinas, si Wang Od na lang po ata ang walang Facebook. O baka nga po may Facebook din si Wang Od. Okay. Now, what about the email? Email is an important method of research communication that is also fast. cheap, accessible, and easily replicated. Using email can greatly benefit us researchers in providing efficient and effective ways in transmitting all kinds of electronic data. We also have there the web-based. Web-based surveys are often useful. They are versatile and they are cost-effective tools for gathering information. And it also provides researchers with a fast, flexible, and far-reaching tool for data collection and analysis. The survey data is said to be the most efficient method for collecting information about a large group of people. And for the government website, common na po ngayon, tayo ay may mga access na sa government websites. Okay. Kung kailangan natin ng mga presentation ng data, pwede po tayong mag-run sa mga government websites na yung mga important things na makukuha natin related to our research ay pwede nating maisama. And also the journals, the importance of journals in the academic life, it goes beyond providing a means of communication and a permanent record. Ang journal po kasi, they are articles na makikita natin doon yung mga final output of most of the researchers. Makikita din natin sa mga journals yung mga researchers' performance. And yung mga performances na yon, yung mga nandun sa journal, pwede nating gamitin as basis at sa paggawa po natin ng ating mga research. Also, a newspaper can serve as useful primary sources for, especially if you are going to do a historical research. They reflect the time period in which they were created and provide a glimpse into society at the time. Though some local newspaper are available digitally, meron naman po mga available sa ating mga local regions. So it provides information and general knowledge na kailangan sa ating mga research. Now let's go to qualitative. Punta po tayo sa qualitative methods. Meron po tayo diyang online interviews, synchronous and non-synchronous or asynchronous. Interviews are especially useful for understanding the meanings participants assigned to some of the activities. Also, their respective perspectives, their motives, and even their experiences. Interviews are also useful for eliciting the language used by group members, by gathering information about the processes that cannot be observed or inquiring about the past. Okay, what about this asynchronous? Synchronous, ano? Alam naman po natin lahat. Ano ang difference ng synchronous and asynchronous? So sa asynchronous po, it means that you do not do the interview at the same time as the interviewer. So sa synchronous ay pwede kayong mag-interview virtual, right there and then ay matatanong nyo for some clarifications. Asynchronous po kasi ay hindi mo kaharap. But then, makakakuha ka pa rin ng mga tanong, ng mga sagot mula sa iyong mga tanong. The interviewer is not online at the same time as you, but instead, you do the interview independently at a time and at a place of your choice. So, yun naman po. Pangalawa po, sa ating qualitative method is the online focus groups. An online focus group is a method of data collection that enables the researcher to host a discussion between a number of respondents through an online platform. So, pwede pong ganito, virtual. The next one is the observational studies. They are ones where researchers observe the effect of a risk factor, such as the diagnostic test, treatment, or other intervention without trying to change or exposing it. So there are observational studies na pwede po nating magamit. Pwede natin gamitin itong observational studies in conducting cohort studies. So familiar na tayo dito. Case control studies, and even the cross-sectional studies. And in general, these observational studies are best used to evaluate the real-world applicability of evidence derived largely through randomized trials. And the next one is what we called the ethnography. What is this ethnography? This is an online research method originating in ethnography. It is understanding social interaction in contemporary digital communication context. It is a specific set of research practices related to data collection, analysis, also the research ethics, and representation, which are rooted in participant observation. This is also conducted in 6 overlapping steps, similar to the stages of ethnographic research. And by using this ethnography, you'll be able to develop a research plan, to establish and to collect and triangulate data. Pero paano po tayo magta-triangulate ng data? Siguro ay na-encounter nyo na yung triangulation. So this triangulation is a way of establishing the credibility of other type of data with another one, thereby having a comprehensive analysis and conclusion. One data may be quantitative with numbers, of course. The other comes from journal reflection of learners, and the other comes from interview. When we put together, it can give you, and it can give to a researcher, a comprehensive, valid, and strong conclusion. So, kaya ang triangulation po ay very effective in conducting and in testing, in treating our research. It is a way of establishing credibility of data. Now, what about the virtual ethnography? This refers to a research approach that is carried out in online setting. So ethnographers are interested in studying culture, often engage in fieldwork, or to immerse themselves in culture they are studying. What are the common topics included in this virtual ethnography? So if you want to conduct a study on school norms or school culture during this time of pandemic, a very effective po itong methodology na ito, the virtual ethnography. And of course, the last one is the social network analysis. It is the process of investigating social structures through the use of networks and graph theory. It characterizes network structures in terms of nodes, such as the individual things within the network, and it ties and edges or links that connect them. This method is a practical method that can reliably monitor the interactions in an online environment. So very effective po itong mga ito na gagamitin natin when we are, or if we are conducting our research in this time of pandemic. Now, the next slide I'll be sharing with you are the possible topics under the new normal. Kasi hindi naman tayo pwedeng maggawa ng research about the classroom assessment kasi hindi naman tayo nakakapag-observe talaga. So these are the possible topics na pwede po nating i-take into consideration in this time of pandemic. The first one is the hybrid education. This was mentioned by Sir Alan in his topic. Hybrid education is a teaching and learning model that meets the needs of students, teachers, and staff with integrated EdTech tools that address blended learning, professional development, staff support, the learning gap, also the social emotional learning, flexible scheduling, and attendance. So these are the inclusions. If you're going to take into consideration and make an action research with regards to hybrid education, still is a teaching and learning model. So pwede nating i-consider ito, mga co-researchers. Another topic is the modular learning. Modular learning is a form of distance learning that uses, alam naman po natin, the SLMs. These SLMs are based on the most essential learning competencies provided by our department. The modules include sections on motivations and assessments that served as a complete guide of both teachers and students' desired competencies. How effective ang mga self-learning modules in meeting the standards in providing the basic education needed by our students. So napakaganda po nitong topic na ito. If we're going to, if we are interested to conduct a research study on this. The radio-based instruction, which is the RBI program, it's an alternative learning delivery mode using radio broadcast to deliver education programs. It aims to provide learning opportunities to listeners and enable them to acquire equivalency in basic education through broadcast of lessons. So if you would like to know if the radio-based instruction program has something to do with the learner's performance, then i-try natin ito. Mag-conduct tayo ng research. May effect ba talaga? Does this radio-based instruction has something to do with the learner's performance? So pwede po natin iyang i-take into consideration. The next one is the television instruction. Television is a source of information or communication, and we all know that media plays a very significant role in everyone's life. And in today's modern society, media has become a very big part of our life. Its duty is to inform, to educate, and to entertain. Kaya maganda po na nagamit ito as one of the platforms in delivering basic education sa ating mga estudyante. Now, ang tanong, ano ang epekto nito? Nakapagpataas ba at nakapagpabilis ba ng pangunawa ng ating mga mag-aaral? There is a study, nabasa ko po ito, na ang television daw po ay malaki ang effect sa mga bata. Why? Because in this point in time, 90% or more ang mga learners daw po natin ay visual learners. Kaya malaking bagay daw po kung gagamitin natin ang television in providing and in giving the basic education to our learners. So, itry natin ito. Sa ating bang paaralan, talagang effective ang television programs in achieving and in promoting a high performance ng ating mga estudyante. And also, the other one is the supplemental materials. So what are these supplemental materials? They are the resources referred to any non-quiet instructional materials included in an online survey. Ito rin po yung mga pinoprovide natin sa ating mga bata. So malaking tulong yung mga binibigay nating supplemental materials. May effect po ba ito? Do the supplemental materials uplift the level of performance of our students? Isa po yun. The next slide also are the possible topics under the new normal. Next slide po, sir. May isa pa po, sir. Yan. The teacher, sir, yun po. Yan. Teacher-learner-parent collaboration. Research shows that when a partnership approach between parents and teachers is evident, children's work habits, attitudes about school, and grades improve. They demonstrate better social skills, fewer behavioral problems, and a greater ability to adapt to situations and get along. And parents and teachers benefit too. Kaya maganda po pala, magkaroon tayo ng strong collaboration with the parent and of course with the learner. Pero paano natin mapapatunayan na talagang it improves the grades of our students, it develop a better work habits, kailangan po daanin natin sa research. Okay. The next one is the lesson exemplar. Ano po yung mga lesson exemplar? Ito po ay model. Kaya po tinawag na exemplar model. They are the inquiry-based investigations that provide teachers and administrators with a way of teaching and assessing teaching and learning process. So sa lesson exemplar po, though ito ay pangkalahatan na ipinrovide sa atin ng central office, with the different situation we are facing, different culture, different localities, effective kaya ang iisang lesson exemplar na gagamitin nationwide? Pwede po natin i-take into consideration iyan. Baka kasi hindi naman applicable itong ginawa ng central office na ito na lesson exemplar kasi iba-iba yung interest dahil sa localities at sa mga level ng society ay baka hindi kayang ma-adapt ng lahat ng bata at ng mga guro ang lesson exemplar na provide ng ating central office. So I guess this is one of the interested research na pwede nating i-conduct in this new normal. Also, the multimodal assessment. The DepEd Order number 81, series of 2020, provides us the use of the multimodal learning delivery. And I believe, kung meron po tayong multimodal learning deliveries, dapat meron din po tayong multimodal assessments. So, itry natin po yan. Many texts are multimodal. Ibig sabihin po, ay pwede tayong gumamit ng mga written languages, spoken languages, and patterns of meanings that are visual, pwede ring audio, gestural, tactile, and spatial. Okay. Next is the data privacy safe protection. Pwede po iyan na i-take into consideration natin. And there are also other related new normal in education. So those are just suggestions and pwede nyo naman po na i-take into consideration na yung mga sinuggest ko po na mga topics na yan in this new normal and in this time of pandemic. And do we still need to conduct action research? Kasi masakit sa ulo. Yung pag-iisip pa lang po ng ating ng title ay masakit na sa ulo. So definitely it's a big no. Bakit po? Because even though it's a year of great challenges, trials, and uncertainties, and also lots of fears, and though this is very tough, even in the field of research, we still could accomplish things that maybe we can never imagine because we researchers are resilient. And as I end my session this afternoon, let me leave you this quotation. Sir, next slide. Impossible things are not big obstacles because we researchers have our ways. And for that, Thank you so much for being with me, and God bless us all.
Ayan po. And then to sum up po, yung topic na yon, yung katulad po ng sinabi ko kanina, virtual survey, yung process, yung steps, how to conduct the virtual survey, and then the second part is about the suggested topics or possible topics under the new normal. So yun po, maaari ko po bang hinga ng counting insight ang ating pong mga kasamahan? Yan po kung... Yes, right?
Narin ko na.
Yes.
Maganda yung yung sa lesson exemplar tsaka yung sa
Diba,
most essential learning competencies, kasi lalo sa atin sa math, meron tayong 1 week tapos tatlong topics ang nilalagay nila. So hindi ko lubos maisip kung paano kasi minsan talagang hindi kayang i-absorb lahat ng bata, kasi 'di ba pag online class tayo, meron lang tayong 1 day para sa ating subject. So hindi lang naman isang subject nating hawak, tapos tatlo-tatlo pa ang topics, mga subtopics. So maganda siguro yung topic na part na yun, Mare, sa tingin ko lang.
Oo, sir. Thank you, sir. Yan din nga yung habang nakikinig ako din kagabi. Ayan din yung pumasok talaga sa akin, sir. At talagang thank you dito sa pagkakataong to, sir. Di ngayon, ang iisipin na lang natin, magpo-formulate na lang tayo ng title para sa ating research. Ano, Sir Francis?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yung iba naman po kaya, ma'am. Ma'am and sir, pwede po ba mag-volunteer? Marami po. Talagang ang ganda po ng bagay na to na i-discuss ng Ma'am Nilds. Yung ibang topic niya, yung isang lesson na na-attenan ko sa kanya, yung pagpo-formulate naman ng title. Ang galing talaga. Kung mabibigyan lang din talaga tayo ng pagkakataon na maka-attend ng mga forum na ganito, talagang masasabi kong i-embrace natin ang research, ang writing, talagang ang huhusay. Maraming mapupulot po talaga. Gagaling. Nagbigay pa nga din ng contact number, ng email yan si Ma'am Nilda para kung gustong magpatulong, magpa-validate ng questionnaire. Pwede siyang kontakin. Open na open ang Ma'am Nilda. Yun yung na-encounter ko sa kanya. Kaya talagang tumatak siya sa akin. Tapos, eto na nga, yung pagkakataong to, siya na naman, si Ma'am Nilda na naman ulit. Kaya malaking party talaga. Yung iba naman po kaya, meron po ba tayong mga insights, learning na makukuha? Yan, dahil po sa walang sumasagot, meron pa akong i-share sa inyo para naman po pag hinanaban tayo ng ating Sir Rick ng output, ay meron po tayong may papakita. At congratulations po sa lahat dahil narinig ko po kanina kay Ma'am Galiste na meron na po tayong mga possible problem at paproblemahin na lang po natin ang pag-formulate ng ating questions. Ng ating title. Yan po. Maaari ko po bang hingan ng request sa ating mga kasamahan na i-click po itong link. And then po, may question po diyan. Maaari po ba tayong magsagot? Isang tanong lang po ito. Ang nakalagay po dyan ay, give some insights on innovation and strategies in the new normal. Katulad po nung sabi ng Sir Joel kanina, pwede din po ganun. Yan po. Maaari din po bang mag-picture? Yung pong picture na ngayon, hindi po yung nakasave sa ating phone or laptop. Para naman po makita ko po kayo. Yan. Marami pong salamat. Just click the link. Yan. Yan po. And then give some insights on innovation and strategies in the new normal. Insights lang po and then learnings, ganon. Dahil mamaya po ay mag-start naman tayo with Sir Matt. Kaya kailangan po talaga natin gisingin ang ating mga diwa. Marami po ba kayong nakuha kay Ma'am Nilda? Tingnan ko nga po. Yan, meron na pong nakapasok. 1, 2, 3. Yan. Thank you po. Maglagay po kayo ng photo, ha? Para po maganda. Sir Dick. bibigyan ko po kayo ng copy nito or pwede nyo din pong i-screenshot kasi may access din po kayo, Sir Rick.
Then,
Kung kailangan nyo po para sa inyong documentation, sir. Ayan, typing na po ang iba. Marami pong salamat sa nagre-response.
Ma'am Den, naghang po yung laptop ko doon sa kabila. Nandito ako kay Ma'am Lali. Na ano, sige pa Ma'am, ano sabi niya pa, dadala niya ako Ma'am ng ano.
Apo, sir. Sige
para sa
po.
documentation. Okay, thank you Ma'am. Thank you.
Ayan. Lagyan niyo po ng picture, ha? Yung picture niyo po ngayon. Para po mas okay. Tahimik. Hindi na po ako i-imik ng maigi, ha? Kasi po baka sabihin niyo po meron kung pwede ko lang i-mute si Ma'am Den. Baka po ganun na mangyari kasi nadidistract kayo sa pagko-construct ng inyong insights. Yan po, para po makapag-ready din sa Sir Matt. Yun, at meron na pong isa. Huwag niyo pong kalimutang lagyan ng pangalan. Si Ma'am Lil po ito. Kasi RBI. Tama po ba, Ma'am Karen?
Hindi po ako yan.
Hindi po ikaw to. Sino kaya? Si Ma'am Noin. So, yan. Ayan. Gwapo naman talaga ni Sir Joel, oh. Thank you po. Babasahin ko po ang mga gawa niyo. Sir Rick, ito po. Ayan. Kung kanina po kay Ma'am Isel, nag-oral po tayo. Ngayon naman po ay written para po may mapakita din po tayo. Problema ko din yan, Sir Francis. Ilan-ilan topic sa isang week, no? Pero sa ibang subject, halimbawa, English, 1 to 3 weeks, 1 to 3 magkakasama na siya. Di ba, Mamarasigan? Ano? Ganon din sa science. Pero sa math...
Lalo na naman ang health, ang MAPE.
Yun din yung MAPE. Sana mapagsama-sama na din sila. Ano? Say why, walay sila. Pwede nga naman natin silang gawing research. Ano po?
Mari, ang MELC, talagang masasabi kong effective yan sa face-to-face pag daily basis kasi sa isang linggo, tatlo lang ang topics. So, kayang-kaya mong tapusin within 3 days tapos the following days, yung 2 araw na natitira sa isang linggo, more on exercises. Pero sa new normal na online class, talagang hindi talaga kayang taputin.
Kahit i-merge na siya, Kahit i-merge na siya,
Effect, pero pag bumalik siguro tayo sa old normal, tapos yung MELC ang gagamitin, ay maalwan ang buhay.
Oo. Talagang may isa-isa, sir?
Oo, tama.
Dito, hindi kasi natin hawak ang oras. Once a week lang. Yan pa, waiting pa po ba ako dun sa iba? 2 pa lang po ang nakikita ko. Si Sir Francis and si Ma'am Noemi. Yan, nakita ko po si Ma'am Neil at si Sir Jonathan na naggagawa. Sige po. Lampas na ba ako sa oras? Kahit po 5 minutes na lang. 5 minutes. Or 3. Ma'am Yel, 3 minutes. Okay na, no?
Hello po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am. Ma'am, 3 minutes.
Opo, ma'am. Kahit po mga 4 minutes para po eksaktong 2 p.m. po.
Nasa chat box ba, Ma'am Maiden?
Apo, ma'am. Yung link po nasa chat.
Wala, oh. Tingnan mo, nag-screenshot ako.
Padlet.
Ba't kaya wala? Oh.
Padlet yon, ma'am. Sesend ko ulit, ma'am.
Cellphone ang gamit ko tsaka laptop. Dalawa na nga eh. Oh.
Yan po, ma'am Jo.
Yo,
Yan.
lumabas.
Apo, yan po.
Lumabas na. Eh, kanina pa ako.
Yan. Sino po kaya to? Sorry po, ako po ay, ano yun? You know na? You know na? Ano yun? You know na? I know na. Yun po ba yan? Ay, log yun ang pangalan. Sir Rick, pipili ka ba ng maganda ditong reflection?
Ma'am Aiden, ako po yun, nagtatry lang ako. Ay, tumama naman po pala.
I know na.
Sorry po, sorry. Hindi ko na ayos.
Ay,
Try
pala
niyo
yung sige po. Ayan, Francis, may kalaban ka na dito. Si Sir Emil at si Ninong Jo. Ang gagwapo naman eh.
May nanalo na.
Basahin ko nga. Ayan. Auto mo, math pa din. Research siguro para sa intervention ng math activity. Lalo na sa primary.
Parang hindi ko pa napag-aralan kung paano gawin to
Ma'am Jo, meron dun sa babang plus sign, yung kulay pink, tapos galawin mo yon, may lalabas na pencil, tapos i-click mo, ma'am. Tapos pwede ka nang magsulat, tapos ipapublish mo siya.
Saan yung baba na yun?
May
plus sign!
Opo. Sa baba, ma'am.
Pencil, nakakita kong pencil, tapos subject.
Click mo siya.
Okay, may nakalagay subject.
Opo, yan. Ganda naman ni Ma'am Lil. Iba talaga ang in love. Yan, teacher-learner-parent collaboration. Opo. Ang dami, di ba, Ma'am Lil, no? Tsaka yung RBI mo, SPG mo. Ang daming pwede palang kuhaan. Dati, talagang ang hirap umisip ng problem. Diyan talaga ako nahihirapan sa topic, sa title pa lang, sa title. At yan. At thank you sa forum na to at saka sa iba pang nating natin ng research. Medyo bumubilis na siya, no? At ready na tayong i-accept ang challenge ng Ma'am Cora at ni Sir Vic. Ayan po. Share ko po, ha? Tapos, waiting na lang din tayo sa iba. Kahit po mamaya na para makapag-proceed na po tayo sa next speaker. Ayan. So, ito po yun. Ayan, si Ma'am Lil. One of my online surveys last school year. Yan, di ba, no? Virtual talaga, virtual survey na ngayon. Ayan. Ito po. Ayan. Aking gwapong kumpare. At si Maring Noemi at si Sir Emil. And so, yung iba po, to follow na lang po. Pwede po siyang gawin mamaya. Okay lang po ba yon, Sir Rick, na mamaya po? To follow po yung iba for their output. Ninong Jo, i-push mo nga itong intervention.
Ano palagay ng picture?
Ma'am Jo, merong lalabas dun na na camera. Yung icon na camera. Take photo.
Alright.
Di ba, ma'am? Pwede natin itong gamitin sa bata. Ma'am, isa na, you know na?
Mawit na ako sa
Wala ako eh. Alam mo naman ako, lagi ako nag-explore.
Ate Rochelle, nasan ka?
Naikot lang siya ng naikot.
Tingnan natin by grade level. Sa grade 1, sa grade 1, wala pa.
Then, yung unang ginawa ko, yung sorry po, nagtatry lang ako. Tapos, inulit ko, yun yung may na dalawa yung sa akin nagagawa. Tapos gumagawa ako ngayon. Hindi ko magawa ulit.
Bakit ikot lang nangikot siya?
Ma'am, baka sa internet connection mo na, ma'am.
Grabe. Tagal
Opo,
ma'am. Ikot. Pagkatapos publish na, yun na yun.
Yes, ma'am.
OMG!
Yes, ma'am. Ito po. Sa kinder, meron na pong isa si Ma'am Noemi. And then sa grade 1 po, siguro mamaya po, Ma'am Laine. And then grade 2, Ma'am May, mamaya din po. And then grade 3 po, Ma'am She, hintayin kita. And then sa grade 4, si Sir Francis. And then sa grade 5, dalawa po, yan. And then sa grade 6, maraming salamat at kumpleto ang grade 6. Thank you po. Andito na din po ang Ma'am Sahara. Ayan. So, ayan po. Marami pong salamat sa pakikinig at nawa po ay marami po tayong napulot sa ating mga shared video. Yan po. Sa ating mga speaker, marami pong salamat sa pagkakataong to, Sir Rick and Ma'am Cora. Thank you po. Thank you po everyone and God bless po.
Picture. Ayan, si Anonymous. It is not enough to say that one program is effective unless make a research
to prove it. Yes, tama po. Ang sabi nga po kanina, maging resilient lang tayo.
Wala, hindi ko masingit ang picture. Naikot siya, Mamay Den. Grabe.
Okay lang po, ma'am. Explore na lang natin next time. Yan po. Thank you po, Ma'am Yel.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Maiden. Sa inyo pong topic na diniscuss, so yan, up to now, yung iba ay nag-explore pa kung papaano nga ba makakapag-post ng kanilang mga picture, and at the same time, Ma'am Maiden, nakakatuwa kasi they are all excited kasi yung activity na pinagawa mo, diba? Doon naman ipopost kung ano yung insight nila regarding doon sa topic na na-discuss. So, ibig sabihin, meron na sila sa kanilang mga isipan kung ano ba yung mga problems na nai-encounter nila na gusto nilang ma-explore at mahanapan ng tamang title, diba? Para sa kanilang research.
Opo, ma'am. Thank you
Congratulations, Ma'am Maiden, and maraming salamat po sa i-share niyo pong knowledge sa atin pong mga kaguruan ng Dayap Elementary School. Thank you.
Opo, thank you din po sa lahat.
So yan, dadako na po tayo sa ating last but not the least speaker or resource speaker this afternoon na kukumpleto po sa ingredients ng mga guidelines ng kung ano po ang dapat nating tandaan sa paggagawa po o pagkukondak po ng isang makabuluhang research po. Ano po, ito ay isa din sa batikang guro ng Dayap Elementary School na talaga naman sasabihin natin na equipped po para makapag-share po ng kanyang knowledge and experiences sa ating pong mga guro. Hindi ko na po patatagalin pa to discuss about research statistics part. Making it easy, everybody, let us welcome Sir Matrin V. De Lima.
Yan. Ay, good afternoon po. Yan.
Good afternoon po.
Sira po kasi yung camera ng laptop, so dalawang device na po yung gamit ko. Ayan. So, ako po yung last and ito po yung pinaka nakakatawag dito, pinaka nakakabuhay na part ng action research, which is research statistics. So after natin makagather ng mga data through our questionnaires at kung online man yan or physical na questionnaire, ay iti-treat naman natin ngayon yung ating mga data, which means ayan, stats. So share lang po muna ako or pre-test muna tayo. Hindi. Try nga natin, sir. Yan. So, ano yung naaalala nyo po, mga kapwa ko mga guro na statistical method? Ano po yung pinakamadali nating ginagamit? Every
Pearson R.
Bigat agad. Pwede namang average muna.
Median mode.
Pearson R agad, madam?
Ipagawa mo na agad kay Ma'am Julia.
May practice po tayo mamaya.
Regression.
Ano ba yan? Sabi ng mga English major nun sa LSPU Santa Cruz. Ano ba yan daw?
Ay, ganito po.
Yung stop ko nun kasi, limot ko.
Ayan. Dahil gusto ni Ma'am Jo ng ANOVA or regression, ng Pearson R na regression, meron tayong exercises, Mimia. Paano nga ba mag-compute manually
manual
ng regression? Medyo joke lang.
Si Ma'am Jo ang una.
Ayan, nakalagay dito kasi, make it easy. So, padadaliin natin yung mga buhay natin. Pero, bago yan, review muna tayo ng ating basic stats. No? Tanda ko yung teacher ko nung third year eh. No, Yel? Yun ang teacher natin. Medyo mabait naman siya.
Third year high school?
Yep.
Sir Ilona, tama ba?
Oo, di ba? Pasok pa lang nun. Wala ka na. Matututo ka naman talaga, kaya lang nangangatal yung tuhod. Pag pumasok mo.
When you hear statistics, matic yun eh, numeric di ba?
Oo, ang hirap magkamali. Nakakahiya.
Teacher pala si Sir Elona.
Apo, ma'am. Ayan. So, try ko pong mag-present. Ayan. So, review mo muna tayo para magising po yung ating mga dugo since 2 p.m. na. So, medyo antokin na tayo dyan. Ang time na yan. Ayaw lumabas. Meron po ba? Ayun. Try nga po natin to kung gagana. Kung hindi naman po ay okay lang. Nag-expired. Na internet. Okay, PowerPoint na lang. Ayaw gumana po ng whiteboard eh. Maano tayo. Pero maganda sana to. Kita ko kung sino nagko-compute.
Buti naman, hindi gumana.
Yan. Dito na lang tayo.
Tuwag-tuwa si Ma'am Jo.
Dito na lang po tayo sasagot sa ating chat box kung sakali po. Medyo mabagal na po kasi yung laptop ko eh. Gapang. Nahingi na. Pasensya na po medyo mabagal po yung laptop. Yung internet po okay naman. Laptop lang po talaga. Yun, lumabas na. Nawawa. Yun. Ayan. Okay, so sige. Ayan. Pretest po mo. Oh, nawala na naman. Wait lang po. Save ko ba yun? So bago tayo po manood ng video ni Sir, pangalan nga ni Sir ay may quiz din siya kaso medyo mahirap po. Kaya yan si Sir Elimar Pascual ng Talangan Integrated National High School. Siya po yung speaker na pakinggan natin mamaya. At habang pinapanood ko tong video na to, sabi ko, bakit pa nagbayad kami ng statistician nung nag-MA kami? Dahil kayang-kaya po nating gawin, base po dun sa napanood po natin, gamit lang po ang Excel. Yan. So, nawala yung recovered ko.
At that time, sir, ang ni Dean Calio, binabayaran din nila yung yun.
Oo.
Na yun. Bayad din ng LSPU ng statistician for that.
Wala pa yung aking yun. Sana hindi ko siya na-save. Grabe ang aking laptop kung kailang oras na. Go. Gumana ka. Pag wala, walang quiz. Yun, meron.
Hey, walang quiz.
Meron po. Gumana eh. Ayan. Yan. Okay. Saka share ko lang din habang mabagal ang aking laptop. Nung nag-MA po ko, may 2 tables na nawala at hindi ko po mahagilap ang aking statistician noon, time na yon. So wala. No choice po kundi computein ko nang sa sarili ko. At natuto naman po ako ano ba po yung ginamit. At salamat po sa YouTube at Google. Tinuruan nila kung paano mag-compute nun. So 2 tables yun kasi kung ano, tapos 1 week na lang, final defense na. So need talagang gawin yung 2 tables. Tina-check ko naman siya sa kanya after nun. Ayun. Ayaw pa rin. Yan. So, paunahan na lang po. At mabagal talaga si laptop. Ano ba yan? Pasensya na po Technical dip. Ito. So, do you remember your high school statistics teacher? Ano tayo ng sasagot? Mag-raffle tayo ng sasagot. Okay. Sino pong naalala? Kami ni Ma'am Yel, yan, naalala namin bigla yung aming statistics teacher namin ni Sir Elona. Ito po yung tanong. If yes, type his full name in our chat box. Ano? Kung natatandaan nyo. Third year yata yun. O nga. Sa time namin, third year, ang stat. 3 ang math ng ng third year. Chem, geometry, saka stat. And if not, why? Sige po, paunahan na lang pong magsagot sa ating chat box. Yan. Tingnan natin kung alala pa nila yung mga nakaraan. Yan, kung okay pang memory. Yan, kitang-kita natin. Sa mga salamat po sa mga kay Sir Roque, ay si Ma'am Honorata. Yan.
Tataklan po siya. Honorata, taklan.
Kilala pa rin natin. At alam natin, yung Calvario, Honorata, Taklan. Alam natin yung binigay nila sa atin.
Mabait po sir ang teacher namin sa Liceo. Naintindihan po namin yung stats niya.
Ano magsalita?
Ano yung magsalita. Kaya lang yung stat ko nung college, doon ako nangamote.
Ayan. Hindi, padadaliin po natin gamit yung talk ni Sir.
Nga po, yung application na
magaling yan. Okay. So, nung pinapanood ko siya, 2 gabi ko siya pinanood nung the other night, saka kagabi, ay sabi ko nga, bakit kailangan pang magbayad ng statistician wherein kaya naman at as long as nasa iyo po yung data na gagamitin. Kaya swak na swak sa ating action research. So maka-compute na tayo ng relationship saka ng differences ng mga bawat data na nag-gather natin or mga sagot ng ating mga estudyante or sagot ng ating mga respondents. Yan. So, dito tayo sa unang question. Meron lang kayong 1 minute to answer. Yan. Tingnan natin kung kaya pa natin to, kung natatandaan pa natin. Yan. So, the first question is, 30 seconds dito, tas 30 seconds sa kabilang slide. So, 1 minute yon. Yan. Dr. Altamirano is a dentist. He needs to report on the average number of cavities that his patients have. So, ito yung nakita niyang cavities sa kanyang mga pasyente. 1, 0, 1, 5, 6, 3, and 4. So, tingnan natin. Ang tanong is, ano yung average niya? So, 30 seconds dito sa slides. Go. Yan. Pabilisan na lang po yung may pinakamabilis na makakuha ng tamang sagot. May prize po sa Christmas party galing kay Ma'am Jo. Yan. Yan. 2 na po. May 2 na ako nakita. 3 kay Ma'am Ruth na sagot. Yan. Madali lang po muna tayo, average lang. Mamaya yung mga t-test. Okay. Yan. Since may sagot na tayo, ayan. Kailangan po bang i-play itong 30 seconds? Hindi na, mabilis lang naman yun no? So the correct answer is 2.85. 2.85. 2.855 yan, so 2.86 ay okay na rin siya. Kaya nga ma'am, gusto ko dun sa sa whiteboard titingnan ko kung nagko-compute ng manual kaso ayaw gumana ng whiteboard. Sayang. So, tama po tayo, 2.86 or 2.85 ang tamang sagot. Alright, so mamaya natin i-garner yung
Kalki na nga, mali pa.
answer. Diyos ko po. Yan.
Mabuti na lang hindi gumana yung whiteboard mo.
Oo nga, gusto ko kasi yung nagko-compute ito.
Para yung mga English major. English major sa one common denominator. We hate mathematics.
Kamote tayo dito, kamote.
Ayan. Ito yung number 2. Okay naman po alam natin pagkuha ng average. Ito naman po yung number 2. At Mr. McDolly Donut house, the number of donut holes in a bag can vary. Help the owner find the mode. So ang number natin ay 12, 10, 10, 10, 13, 12, 11, 13, 10. Yan, ang bibilis. Pinakamadaling measure of central tendency is the mode. Mamaya natin matututunan kung bakit. Okay. No need to no need to compute. Ang mode. Ay, hindi ko na na-play yung 30 seconds pero may mga answer naman tayo. So the correct answer is, of course, the correct answer is 10. Yan. Very good. Okay. Magaling yung estudyante ko. Next. Question number 3. Find the mean of these numbers. 5, 11, 2, 12, 4, and 2. 30 seconds. Ayan. Ang bibilis.
Ang bilis ko ha. Una ko.
Ang bibilis. Sayang, dapat talaga manual to Para
Sa calcu.
Oo. Madali lang sa calcu yan And time's up. The correct answer is 6. Yan.
Achievement na to. Achievement.
Okay.
Ang galing ni Ma'am Jo.
I-quizzes ko pa dapat kaso tatagal Pero okay.
Hindi na ako kumukuha ng ballpen.
Ito naman, median.
Median.
Find the median of these numbers. Sige nga, kung alala pa, ano ba yung median? Paano nga ba kino-compute yung median?
Gitna yan. Median rate.
Median, average, mean, and mode. Tatlo yan. That measures of central tendency. Pero need na rin natin i-review. Since maalam naman tayo, yan, sabi nila 4. Tingnan natin. The correct answer is 4. Yan. So mamaya natin makikita yung explanation ni Sir Jan sa tatlong measures of central tendency. And last one. Okay, question number 5. Find the mode. In 5099305554. Kita na kagad. The correct answer is, syempre, 5. Okay? Yan. So, doon na po natatapos yung aking PowerPoint na madalian kong ginawa. Dahil ayaw gumana nung, mamaya po ulit, habang nagtotalk si Sir, kaya ko pong gumawa ng mga 20 questions about...
Tama na. Friday.
De, joke lang po para maaga po tayong makatapos. Ayan. Pakinggan natin yung best part nitong lalo na yung second part niya, yung sa t-test, yung sa mga regression na kino-compute lang. So kailangan lang po natin ng kailangan lang po natin ng Excel. Para So ang objectives nito ay makapag-compute tayo ng research data or treatment, makapag-treat tayo ng mga data nang hindi masyado tayo nahihirapan kasi nga mahirap na yung paggawa natin ng study pagagaanin naman itong ano. So makinig tayo mabuti kay Sir Elimar Pascual, Master Teacher of Talangan Integrated National High School, and mamaya po yung ating follow-up. Okay po? Yan. So ano naman to? More on paggamit ng Excel para makapag-treat tayo ng mga data. Ano po? So skip na natin yung quiz kasi nag-quiz na tayo. Dito na tayo sa objectives mag-start. Ayun yung quiz. Kaso ano lang yan, ang tawag diyan, definition. So mamaya yan. Okay, so play tayo.
Use and apply the concepts learned in solving for required values and submit the result in Google Classroom. Since Monday, the assignment with regards to statistics was already posted in our Google Classrooms and it should be submitted until this evening 8 p.m. Do not worry. The topic this afternoon is very easy because we will use us there with our discussion, and this would really be something easy. Statistics, making it easy. What are things that we are not supposed to do? Okay, my presentation ended, sorry. What are the things that we are not supposed to do? So first, we are not supposed to look at the formulas of each statistical tool. We will leave that to graduate studies or other academic discussion. We are not going to compute manually using pen and paper or using calculator. We are not going to quit when the going gets tough. I hope there will not be a time a little later wherein there are few participants, but we will have a health break, of course. We will not go deep into the concept, but on the process only. We are not going to make an excuse during recitation. Opo, I can see the participants. Mayroon po tayong recitation. Joke lang po. It's a bluff. Just kidding. There is no recitation po. Don't live in our virtual classroom so we can learn many things. Let's begin po. Here is the list of the statistical tools that we are going to explore using Excel. Statistics divided into two main divisions. Descriptive statistics, which try to describe the sample or the population, mean and standard deviation. There are still many descriptive statistics like coefficient of variation and other ways to describe the population, but these two are the most prominent tools used in research. Under inferential statistics, Pearson R, and two types of t-test. Okay, so these are the three. There are still other tools like ANOVA and regression, but we can use these three simple tools. We will be able to produce research that would bring a lot to our clients, the students, our school, and the community. Hindi kailangan na magbigat na statistics. Just these five. Opo, yan lang po. And so, let's begin with the mean. The slide is showing to us different meanings of average according to different authors. We will look at the key words. When we say average, it includes median and mode, not just mean. We are familiar with that. We get the average of our learners' grade in different subjects every quarter. Mean. One of the keywords, single figure. So when we say mean, we can think of a section and then we want to have the mean height of the students, and that's only one figure. Like for example, 5 feet 3 inches. That would describe other students in the class having that kind of height, single figure. By Murray or Spiegel, typical, that means common. Other values may be close to it, or other values are the same with the mean. That's why it's typical. By Croxton and Cowden, represent. It's like in a class, there is a representative that when the class is being told, one can speak for the class, and he would represent the class as if is the whole class, that one person. So as if he is the whole class, but it's just one. So represent. And by Simpson CapCut, we have the keyword congregate. That's why main, median, mode are measures of central tendency. Other values congregate to it as if it is the center. Now let's go to the process or the way in which Excel can be used in getting the mean. Again, most of you are familiar with this, but let me go with the process for the benefit of all o para sa lahat. So, thank you po sa ating mga kasamahan for being patient as this may be long for them. Okay, the grades of student A in 5 subjects are 77, 88, 89, 90, and 95. What is her mean grade? Well, we can use calculator because these are just 5 numbers. We can even compute it manually or using our cell phone. But what if there are too many values, something like, let's say 100? You will be using calculator. Then along the way of encoding, there comes the distraction. Then you say to yourself, oh, ulit nga. So Excel is a very powerful tool. Let's open our Excel book. And we may want to have it minimized at the right side of the Google Classroom environment or Google Meet environment. Sige po, let's have some moment to open our Excel po, dear participants. And then I would like to request in the chat box saying, done, sir, open na po, sir, ready na po, sir. Yan. Allow me to have my camera off so I can navigate in my other laptop so I can see the chat box. Yan, done po. Thank you po, Ma'am Minor Calaranyo and others who would still be sending their reply. Ready na po, sir, sabi ni Sir Edwin. Alright, so let's encode these 5 numbers. Very few, but just to know how to use Excel. Na po, 77, 78, 89, 90, 95. In any column. So this is what we call column A, and then column B. We use Excel in our production of grades, so we are not anymore foreign. It's not anymore foreign to us, this Excel environment. After that, in any column, in any cell, you see cell, something like this. This one is B3. This one is C4. And this one is B5. So in any cell that you like, include the command equals or equal sign, the word average, open parentheses, A1 colon A5. Or you may want to encode only equal sign, the word average, open parentheses, and then click on the mouse here, drag up onto A5. And that will automatically encode for you A1 column A5. So it saves us time dragging the mouse. Press enter, and there are already some participants telling us what the Excel gave us. Let us see if we have the same answer here on the screen. Yes, indeed, 87.8. How do we make use of this number? We say, therefore, the average grade of the student in the 5 subjects is 87.8. So without the explanation, sentence, analysis, conclusion, these numbers would do no good for us researcher. It must be put into sentence like that. So let's practice using Excel, computing for the mean. Here is another sample. The height in centimeters of 12 college freshmen are as follows: 152, 144, up unto 170, and we have 12 data. In our Excel environment, let us encode here. You may want to begin anew by putting it in another column. That would be okay, or you may want to erase column A. Then write the command equals average, open parentheses, drag the mouse from A1 to A12. Okay, what will be your answer, dear participants? Can we see? Is that the same with my answer here? My answer here is 159.1667. Thank you, Ma'am Sheila Nasta. Sheila, thank you. So we have the same answer. So what do we do with this figure? We say, therefore, the mean height of the freshman students is 159.17 centimeters. That is the typical height, the representative height, the single value that represents the other 11 students. Where do we usually see the mean being used in research, in basic research? In basic research, we investigate on how the respondents, whether they are students, parents, teachers, school heads, with regards to their perception on a certain intervention, system, program, or project. We provide questionnaire like this in Likert scale system with numbers that they can take based on their perception, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And what do we do with their answers? We get the mean or the central value. So on the screen, we have a sample. First indicator says that the mean perception of the respondents is 4.79, and we provide interpretation very highly satisfactory. So this is an example where a mean can be used. Basic research. We do not have an intervention. There is already an existing one. We just want to know how is that project system intervention being viewed by the respondents or being effective, being used in the classroom. So we have something like this questionnaire. In the Google Classroom, we have something to answer using Excel. So I want you to try this, guys. Exercise 1, very easy po. No, we have 16 numbers to be encoded in Excel. And then in one of the cell, encode the command, and that's it. We have the answer already. You know already how to deal with mean when you do research. So don't forget to open po your Google Classroom for the exercise. Napakadali lang po. Hindi po masakit sa ulo. Just be with us and listen. Okay? So next tool, standard deviation. After knowing the central tendency, the central value, or the representative value, there are times we also want to know how are the values spread or how they vary from each other. Like there are several participants and they have their perceptions. Do they agree with each other? Something like that. So we use standard deviation. Standard deviation is the average deviation of scores from the mean of the distribution. It's also referred to as the measure of spread or measure of variability. Let's see this example scenario. Consider these two groups of student scores. What can we say about the mean? When we use Excel, it would give us a mean of 10 for both groups. We stuck with that, so sometimes we will also be interested in, so they have the same performance. There is another statistical tool that we can use so that we can go deeper in our observation. So they both have the same mean, and that is 10. How about asking whose group scores are more spread? So we use standard deviation. Let's have the standard deviation of the first set of scores. Probably this is score in a quiz having 20 items. We're in the lowest got 1, the highest got 19. So let us encode all the scores in Excel. So we have 1, 1, 5 9s, 5 11s, and 1 19. You may want to encode this in different manner. I mean, not in increasing order. That would not provide us different answer. So I guess the participants have encoded it. Right, then in any cell, we will encode the command =, STDEV, open parentheses, drag the mouse from A1 up to A12, or encode it manually. A1 colon A12. After that, press enter. And what do we get? 3.954284. We see the answer of the participants. Thank you. We have the same answer, except that others have rounded it incorrectly. So others put it 3.94. And she corrected their answer. Thank you. So 3.95. What do we say? The standard deviation of the scores of the first group of students, 3.95. Now let's set aside this first value of standard deviation. Remember it, 3.95. Let's go to the second set of scores. We have 6 ones and 6 19s. So encode 6 ones and 6 19s. Then the command equal sign stdev open parenthesis A1 colon A12. Drag the mouse from A1 to A12. What would be the answer? Let us see from our participants. They are saying 9.40. Let us see. And that's it. What do we say? The standard deviation of the scores of second group students, 9.40. What now? What would be our analysis? The group whose scores are more spread is group 2. More so, we can say that group 2 is heterogeneous and group 1 is homogeneous. The one which requires greater intervention so that the gap would not be wider in the near future is group 2. Because without intervention and without some help, the wider the gap there would be. So that can be an additional analysis. In what type of research can this be used? Basic research again. So my example is this one, the one I had shown a while ago. We take note of the mean. We also take note of the standard deviation. Now, if you know how to get the mean and the standard deviation, you can proceed with your research even without the assistance of the math teachers in your school or even the statistician in your school, because the Excel can help us. Looking at the standard deviation, we notice that they are less than 1. So we say that the respondents somehow agree with their perception. When the standard deviation is greater than 1, talking about the Likert scale system 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because in other system, that this principle would not apply. If it is more than 1, then we say that the respondents do not agree. They have different perceptions. So that is something that we can say when the standard deviation is greater than 1. So with that, we can produce basic research having a analysis, conclusion, recommendation. Like for example, the intervention is not having a good mean, not showing a good mean, then there needs to be something to be done with the intervention, with the system, or with the project. So standard deviation and mean. In the Google Classroom, here is the exercise 2 that we will be providing answer. So the docs file provided there has the space for our answer. Just encode the stand scores and then using Excel provide the answer. Before we continue, let's check our Microsoft Excel software if it has the needed function for the next statistical tool. At the right portion, upper part of the Excel environment, we need to pick data. Pick data. And see if there would be an icon to appear, data analysis. So press data analysis. Can our participants tell us if they have this data analysis or none? So we can wait till the participants have verified their environment. Meron po, sir. Okay, nice to know po. So let us see more. Yan. Meron na. Okay. Meron po. Because if no one would say that they do not have this icon, we can proceed with the next tool. Okay? Some more seconds. Kung wala pa, so we can help you kung mahiya. So, we are here to assist every participant. So, mukhang wala. Count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wala po sa MacBook. Okay, I hope, I don't know if this will help. Okay, I will show the process MacBook. Nasa MacBook. Pero in any way, po, you may want to try this or wala nga ata po sa MacBook. Ano po sa Excel lang nga po ata. Okay, so this is what you will do po if ever wala with this upper part. Po. And then this environment will be shown. And then pick Excel options, and then this environment will be shown. Choose add-ins. People, add-ins, pick that button. Then this will appear, this environment. Or here, we choose Excel add-ins, then analysis toolpath. And then okay or go. Either of this, okay or go, and this would be the environment. Okay, go or okay, either of the two. Okay, go or okay. Analysis toolpath, okay, and it would provide for us this attribute of the Excel environment, data analysis. Okay, let's proceed. Doon po sa nagamit ng MacBook, you may want to screenshot the samples or the slides and try it in your laptop with Excel a little later. Pearson R. So this is the first in the differential statistics. According to Ma'am Jenna, Office 365 po, saan po yan makikita po. So the one that I had screenshot is EXO 2009 or 10. Po, opo, so sa lower version na ay meron na ganun po. So sa higher version ay meron din po siya. Po, yung po kasama agad na Microsoft Office when it is installed po. Excel and Excel. Okay, let's proceed. Correlation measures the strength of relationship between two variables. Pearson R is used in this case, with Carl Pearson being the one who coined the concept. That's why the name Pearson R, Carl Pearson. To measure the degree of association, we have the legend or interpretation. It's not shown here is the value -1. It means perfect negative correlation. When one variable increases, the other decreases. So inverted. The middle value is 0. That means no correlation. When one value increases, the other value shows no pattern, or both no pattern. The decimal or the integral values 0.01 to 0.3 means little, if any, correlation. 0.31 to 0.5, low correlation. 0.51 to 0.70, moderate correlation. 0.71 to 0.90, high correlation. 0.91 to 1, very high correlation. With flat 1 being perfect, direct correlation, perfect, positive correlation. When one variable increases, the other variable also increases with the same interval, the same ratio, perfect correlation. Do not forget that correlation does not imply causation. When we have already seen that there is a correlation between the two variables, we should not jump into conclusion that the first variable induces or causes the increase of the other. That means having an effect. Not necessary. It just happened that the two variables are related. There might be other factors that causes the increase or decrease of the other. thereby having the concept of moderating variable. And we hear that in research. So we would just say that the two variables have relationship and not the one causing the other to increase or decrease. Correlation does not imply causation. Example, a study to determine the relationship between reading math and reading computer. A random sample of 10 students were taken and the results are as follows. So the researcher would like to know if there is a relationship or correlation between grade in mathematics and grade in computer subject. He took 10 students who noted their grades in math and computer. First student, math 75, computer 78. Second student, math 83, computer 87. We just merely looking and not using statistics, we might say, indeed, math has relation to computer. This student is 9 of 7. Then in math, 78. Then is 70 student, 92, and he does good in computer, 89. Seems like there is a relationship, but we do not need to jump into that conclusion because we might not notice some movements in the numbers. Also, this only represents the population. This is called the sample. The sample size is 10. Okay? We are not dealing with the population, in which looking at the population would give us the real scenario, but looking at the sample would give us some error. So Pearson R can help. At 5% level of significance, find out if there is significant relationship between grading in math and grading in computer. The researcher would like to have 5% error allowance. Why? Why not target 0% error allowance? Remember that we are dealing with only the sample. If this study is for division of Laguna, then all students should be the participant or respondents. Now we only take 10 students, so there would be an error in the conclusion that we will have later. And researcher would like to give 5% error allowance, 5% level of significance. This is equivalent to 95% level of confidence. So that it's okay to have error allowance because that is really the reality in research dealing with sample only. Okay, let's use Excel. First, we'll encode the data in 2 columns or 2 arrays. Here, in first column is the grades in math. Second column, grades in computer. Okay. Take some moment to encode, operate in Excel. So we can learn something this afternoon. Para lang po tayong nag-encode ng performance tasks or written works ng mga bata sa Excel. Alright, compute with me guys. So you can learn something this afternoon. Yes, the scores are included sa Excel. What's next? Upper part, data analysis. We have several participants who said there is the icon. So journey in computing, data analysis, press it, and this would pop out. This one. We have to look for regression analysis. We have to pull this lever down. There is no Pearson R in this environment. We will run through regression. Regression tool will provide us the value of Pearson R. So choose regression. Pick OK. The environment is asking for plug-in of values. From the values that have been encoded, drag the mouse from A1 to A10, and this would automatically encode for us $A, $1, colon $A, $10. Dollar symbol is a lock in Excel, especially when we are cut-pasting numbers. We don't want the value to change. We lock the literal coefficient, the numerical coefficient, $. Then tick here, and then you will notice the cursor blinking, asking for plug-in of values. Drag the mouse B1 to B10, and this would appear in the rectangle, inside the rectangle. Do not forget to set the confidence level at 95%, which is the one parallel with 5% level of significance. Okay, 5% error, 95% level of confidence. If this one is not set at 95, we will have different answers. Press OK, and this would appear. Right? Now there are few numbers. You might say, oh no, I have math accounting and I see many numbers. As the title says, making it easy, we will only look at the p-value, right? We will leave with the other ways of looking at the answers in master's study. Just the p-value. P-value below, yan. X variable 1. P-value X variable 1. And it is 0.000258. 0.000258. That's the p-value. Right? That's the p-value. Take note of that. Now, how do we decide if there is a relationship between the scores in math subject and computer subject? Here is the rule which applies for person R and the remaining tools that we will explore later. If p-value is less than the level of significance, others call it alpha, then there is significant relationship. If p-value is greater than or equal to the alpha or level of significance, there is no significant relationship. So do you remember the p-value that we have seen a while ago? It is 0.000258. How does it compare to 0.05? It is less than 0.05. Therefore, there is a significant correlation. Now, you want to go deeper in analysis, then you can refer to the range of values I have given a while ago. This multiple R or R, Pearson R, can be seen here, multiple R, 0.90 or 0.91 up to 2 decimal places, 0.91. And 0.91 falls under the range 0.91 to 1, which is very high. So we say there is a significant, very high correlation between grade in math and grade in computer. Now, what now? So, one analysis or conclusion can be that the school, the teacher, the coordinator can develop some programs, projects in which the two subjects are connected in its output, something like that. Because we have seen that the grades in math connected to grades in computer. That means they can have an effort like that, a project or any intervention wherein both are included. So we do not leave the research like this, technical. We need to give some conclusion. So where do we use Pearson R? The same basic research. We look at how the respondents view the variables, and then we apply Pearson R. So that is basic research. We do not have an intervention to introduce. It's just that we want to investigate on what is present, the present strategy, project, or intervention. So we can apply Pearson R in basic research. Another example, so I hope our participants can...
Hello po. Ayan. Teka. Hello po. Nakakasabay pa po tayo. Ayan. Nakakasabay pa po. Ayan. So, explain lang natin ng mas simple kasi si Sir nosebleed si Sir eh. Pero ano naman, maliwanag naman yung pagkaka-explain ni Sir. Ano po? So, paliwanag po natin yung first three. Kasi may dalawa pa pong kasunod yan. Siguro mga 1 hour pa siya or 40 minutes, mga ganon. Yung una po ay mean. So, alam na po natin lahat ng mean So, yung central tendency, yung average. Yung pangalawa po ay SD or standard deviation. So, sa layman's term, ang standard deviation po ay spread ng answer nila. Katulad po nung dalawang example, kung napakinig nyo po kanina, makikita nyo kung ang answer nila ay nagtutugma or ang answer niya ay iba-iba. Yun po yung tinatawag na standard deviation. So, lagi natin yung kinukompute sa mga test results natin, but yun pala yung ibig sabihin niya. So, standard deviation ay yung spreading ng mga answers ng mga bata. Then we have here, Pearson R, yung last na kinumpute na ni Sir, gamit ang Excel, yung relationship between two variables. So, yung una natin na na-compute ay grade sa math sa grade sa computer. So, may relasyon ba yung grade sa math at sa computer? So, share ko lang din yung aking MA na thesis. Ang kinuha kong relationship nun ay kung may relationship ba yung level of awareness ng mga SPA ng Kalawan dun sa awards na nakukuha nila yearly for the past 5 years yata yun or So, yun yung kinumpute ko nun. And ayon din sa study ko, gamit lang po yung Pearson R, ay meron naman po. So, kapag ang school or ang SPA ay school paper advisor ay hindi knowledgeable dun sa RA 7079 o yung Campus Journalism Act, ay ang school nila ay hindi nagpe-perform sa mga conferences at mga activities ng Campus Journ. While on the other hand, kapag kapag well-versed ang SPA, yung madami siyang alam, ay nagpe-perform yung kanilang school. So, yun po yung aking research or thesis nung MA, nung masteral. So, ayan. So, kitang-kita nyo naman po, ang gagawin lang po natin ay i-encode yung tamang formula to get yung result na makukuha natin. So, medyo technical to ha. Kaya po, kailangan natin ng konting Ayan. So, balik na po kayo, sir. Para
using the Excel, there are two sets of numbers, and we want to know if these two sets of numbers are related with each other at 5% level of significance in our Excel environment. Let us include these 20 numbers. And then, can you provide me the p-value in the chat box? I need the p-value. Include two columns. So, two sets of scores, probably scores. Okay. So, I hope the participants have encoded numbers slowly but surely, so we will not have different answers. With just one item that we are different, we will have different p-value. So we must have the same input. What do we do? Press data analysis here. This will pop out. Choose regression. Click OK. Then, asking for plugging of values. Drag A1 to A10, and this would appear in this box. Click here, and this would drag B1 to B10, and this would appear. Take note of the confidence level. The researcher likes 0.05 level of significance, so that is 95% confidence level, and tick OK. hope the participants are with me in computation. You have the p-value. And the p-value is seen here. Okay, p-value, x variable, 0.9. We have Sir Alexis, thank you. 0.93784, 2 decimal places, 0.938, correct. Sheila, Michelle, encoded and sent their answer, thank you. So what do we now say? 0.937 compared to the alpha or level of significance, it is greater. See, 0.9, and this one is just 0.05. So there is no significant correlation. There is no significant correlation. In the Google Classroom, we have exercise 3. Thank you for our participants for computing with me, telling me that I am still being heard and you are still there. Okay, this is exercise number 3. Provide R value and the interpretation. In the Google Classroom, you have the range pasted on the exercises. It's pasted so you can decide how high is the correlation, p-value. Then put here the symbol less than, greater than, or equal. Then decide there is no or there is a high, low, or moderate. So that's the one you would put here. There is no or there is high, low, moderate. That's Pearson R. In what kind of research? Basic research. Let's move on. T-test, last two po, your participants. These two are also effective, but now in action research. So there are 3 types of t-test. One sample mean test. It is a test comparing the population mean and the sample mean. All right, so suppose there is a product like cell phone or battery operated car, and it has been established that the length of life of the battery of the car is say 5 days without interruption, operating continually. Then you want to know if that claim of the company is correct. The claim of the company is the population mean. Now you bought 5 toy cars. You put it on operation mode, and then wait until the battery expires, get the mean expiration of the battery, and compare it with the population. So it is done by large companies when they have a new product. They want to test if their new product is can be compared to the one existing already. So we do not usually use one sample mean test. Number 2, independent or 2 sample means. In this type of test, we have 2 set of samples, 2 group of participants, 2 group of subjects. Then we had the data from them. So that's why it's called independent. We have 2 sample means, and we compare the means of these 2 groups if they have significant difference or none. While in number 3, dependent sample means, we only have 1 group of respondents or participants or subjects. But we have 2 sets of data, pre and post, or before and after. We'll understand this better when we go to the examples. T-test independent. Okay, let's have a sample here. When do we apply t-test for independent samples? Random samples of heating temperature from 2 different types of cook stoves produce the following results. So there are 2 types of stoves, and the owner of the company or the department store would like to know the performance of these 2 stoves in terms of the temperature it gives when it is operated. They took note of the temperature at 10 times usage, and they have the following, which is probably in degrees Celsius. So 2 types of stoves, 10 times operation. They use a mechanism to get the temperature. So we use, in this case, t-test for independent samples. There are 2 samples, and we want to know if they have difference in performance or output. The level of significance the researcher would like to use 5%. 5% is common for education, that would be not strict and not lax. It would be strict when we use 1%, but it is needed in medicine because we do not want to damage lives. How about other percent, like 10%? It can be used in social sciences, politics, agriculture, right? 5%, that would be enough for us educators to use in statistical tools. 5%. So encode the two sets of data. These are the degree Celsius obtained upon operating the two types of stoves. I hope our participants are encoding it and join me in computation of t-test independent samples. So we have 78, 84, for the second column, 85, 75. So after this tool, probably Sir Crystal would agree on a health break. Okay, I hope the participants have here. Thank you for. So participants have encoded. All right. At the upper part, guys, here, data analysis. This will pop out. A while ago, we choose regression. Now look for t-test 2 samples assuming equal variances. One participant asked, sir, why assume equal variances? Now, we recognize the data having the same height, degree, all of them degree Celsius, and it's not one column, 1 to 5, then second column, 78, 85. No, it's not. They seem to show the same type of data. Another, it is assumed that the two stoves, the data come from the two stoves came from one population. Okay, there is just one department store wherein those two stoves came from, or two companies. Okay? It comes from one population, and that's why we choose assuming equal variances. All right. Pick OK. After that, this will be the environment, asking for the two sets of data. Drag the mouse, A1 to A10. Pick here. The cursor will blink, asking for plugging of values. B1, B10. Drag the mouse. It will automatically show something like this. This one. Don't forget. Thank you to Sir Henry Royal done encoding. Opo. Salamat po for communicating. Don't forget this, alpha. A while ago in Pearson R, we are asked to set the confidence level, right? Here in t-test, we are asked to set the alpha. So do not be confused. In Pearson R, we are asked to set the confidence level, 95%. Well, that is a partner of alpha, 5%. See, 5% plus 95%, 100%. So alpha 0.05 also means 95% level of confidence. So this 1.05 set it. Otherwise, we'll have different answers. Click OK, and this will show, sir, so many numbers. We just need one, the p-value, all right? P-value, two-tail here, 0.06. Another participant asked, or probably I just think someone asked, okay, why two-tail? We are asked if there is a significant difference. We are not asked if stove A is performing better than stove B. In that sense, we will use one tail if that is the question. The question is just knowing if they have significant difference. So we use two-tail. And the value here is 0.06. The same principle applies in deciding if there is significant difference or not. Less than the alpha, there is a significant difference. Greater than or equal to alpha, there is no. So let's decide. The p-value is 0.06 and the alpha is 0.05. it is greater than C, this is 0.06, this is 0.05. So there is no significant difference between the two types of stoves. Further analysis can be something like this. The two stoves can both be marketed equally, saying to the buyer, so they both perform well, ma'am, sir. Maybe we just want to buy the cheaper one because they both perform well according to the study. So that can be a deeper analysis rather than these technical terms. In terms of intervention in classroom, we can say the two interventions are doing well. Probably you may want to apply the intervention which has lower cost in materials. So something like that. When we return po, we'll have another example for us to practice. So we will have 12 minutes health break or coffee break po. So thank you po sa lahat for this first part. We'll return after 12 minutes. God bless po.
Yan. So, diyan na po natatapos yung first part ni Sir. Yan. Rinig po ba?
Apa, Sir Matt, ready po.
Hello po. Meron pa po bang nanonood? Ayan. So, ayan. So, hanggang T-test independent lang si Sir dito, tapos may break siya na 12 at 10 minutes yata. So, ito. Break pa yan. Para dun sa next ano natin. Ayan. So far naman, so good po. Nakakasabay po tayo. Medyo technical nga po yan. Pero yan po yung kailangan natin sa action research na gagawin natin if we're going to test the relationship and the differences of the values. Yung mga makukuha nating data sa ating mga questionnaires ay ayan po yung treatment na kailangan para malaman mo na kung sila ba ay may significant relationship or may significant differences. Doon po papasok yung nyo. Kapag nakita nyo may relationship, then papasukan nyo na siya ng intervention. Kung naman meron siyang differences, ganun din po. Hindi po kasi dyan natatapos yung action research or yung research dun sa statistical treatment na nakuha may relationship. Tapos na yung yung research. Hindi po. Kailangan aayusin. Doon po papasok yung recommendation, saka yun, yung result, yung recommendation, saka yung isa pa. Yun nasa pinakandulo ng thesis or ng research natin. Ayan. At hindi po kayo makakabuo ng ng research or ng isang intervention nang hindi nyo nako-compute yung pagkakaiba at pagkakaparehas ng mga data. Kaya kailangan natin ng statistical treatment. So, last na naman po ito. Siguro mga... Ayan.
Now, to practice using Excel to get the p-value of t-test independent, here is another example. So, a professor wanted to know his students in terms of the quiz he has provided. We notice the given on the screen or the data having a different sample size. For the engineering students, we have 67, then the last score is 77, the sample size is 10 students. In computer science students, we have 8. Can we proceed if we have different sample size here? Yes, the power of t-test applies even if the sample size is different. So let us encode the scores and quiz of the the engineering students and computer science students, and let us help the professor to know if there is a significant difference in the scores. Okay, so let's encode po. So one sample size, 10, another sample size is 8. Taking the data analysis of external environment at the top, we will have this one. Choose t-test to sample assuming equal variances. Press OK. Then plug in the values. Column A here, value 1 range. Then pick here. And then drag the mouse B1 to B8 and it will appear inside this box. Set the alpha to the one indicated by the researcher, 5%. Then click OK. What do we need to look for? P-value. And the P-value is here, P, 2 tail. Okay, there's another P-value, 1 tail, we choose 2 tail. 0.920511. What would now be our decision? We will compare it to 0.05. Obviously, the p-value is bigger than the alpha or the level of significance. Therefore, there is no significant difference between the scores of the engineering students and the computer science students in a mathematics quiz. Further analysis can mean to say that the course is not a determining factor in order for us to say if a student is good in mathematics or not. So other factors might contribute like attitude in studying, study habit, length of time of study. It's not the course itself. So because we usually think that if it is an engineering student, then he must be good in math. So this can be an additional analysis when we say there is no significant difference. In the Google Classroom, we have this exercise. We have 2 sets of data and we are asked to find the T-stat, T-critical, we use the 2 tail for the T-critical. P-value, then the sign here, whether it is less than, greater than, or equal, and then declare if there is A or there is no. Okay? There is A or there is no. All provided for us by the Excel so we can have the decision. So where do we use t-test independently? When we want to test the output or the performance of an intervention that we have developed, then it is an action research, and this t-test for independent samples is a good tool. We can compare it with the previous strategy that we are using or the old strategy that we are using. It becomes basic research when the 2 interventions that we want to test for difference has been there. We are not developing a new intervention. So it's basic research. So for both basic research and then action research, we can use t-tests for independent samples. Last test, this is interesting because this one is also t-test, but it has different idea than the other one. T-test correlated. Other book would use the word dependent. T-test for dependent samples. Another would use paired sample mean. So they mean the same thing. A random sample of 10 souls were taken to test the difference in weight due to a new federation at 5% level of significance. So a hog racer would like to know if the new ration, the new formula, has an effect to the weight gain or to the weight of the 10 souls, pigs, or hogs. He recorded the weight before. You can see here 153, 146. This probably will be in kilograms. And then he introduced the new federation to the hogs or sows or pigs, then took the weight after several feedings. Here are the new weights. by just looking at the values, it seems that it increased indeed. 153 to 158, 146 to 149. But the question is the increase significant or not? Remember, we are just having sample sows or hogs or pigs. We want to have a comprehensive decision without t-test, then we must include all the hogs. We must include all the pigs. Since we are just using sample, then we need to use t-test to provide us an idea if the feed ration is effective. Encode the given here in Excel. Now we need to make sure that sample size is the same. Sample size is 10. Column B, sample size is 10. Right? If during the experiment, one hog died, that means there would just be 9 entries here. Then take away the last entry here so that it would be same sample size, 9, 9. So we cannot operate on T correlated if we do not have the same sample size. So I hope our participants have encoded this or screenshot for them to try a little later. This is what we will do. We will click on the data analysis at the upper part of the Excel environment. Choose t-test paired to sample for means. A while ago, it's t-test assuming equal variances. Now it's t-test paired to sample means. Then click OK here. Okay, and this will appear asking for input in these two boxes. So we will drag the mouse from A1 to A10. It will automatically include for us. Click here. Drag the mouse B1, B10, and this will appear. There it is. Do not forget to verify the alpha is the same with the problem 0.05. Then press OK. Too many numbers. So what we just need is the p-value. Okay. Before we proceed, take a look that the mean indeed increased. What we want to know is if the increase is significant. The increase is somewhat 3.5, but is the increase significant? With the 10 hogs as the sample, is that 3.5 enough for us to say that the new feed ration is really effective? So let's ask the t-test and make use of the rule. We will notice that it gives us capital E negative 0.5. You don't need to be anxious about this. This just means times 10 to the negative 5. We will move the decimal place 5 places to the left. So moving it something as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the p-value would be like this. So a while ago, the decimal point is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we now have the p-value. Obviously, it is less than 0.05, and if that is the case, there is significant difference between the weight of the sows before and after the feed ration. The new feed ration is effective, continue using it, and it can be used by other hog raisers because according to this study, it gives significant increase in weight. So we can also use this in action research, looking at how the proposed intervention provide output to the learners before the use of the intervention and then after the use of the intervention. So there's significant increase. So action research, t-test correlated can be used. Another so that we can practice using Excel to get the p-value. Okay. In this next example, we have again a professor who would like to know if his teaching does good to his learners, giving an increase in grade. Before the teaching, he recorded the scores of the 10 students, and then after. So these are some keywords wherein it indicates the use of key correlated before and after, pre and post. So we think of one group of students only or one group participants, but there are two sets of data. So in that case, we use t-test, tiered sample, and so I hope you can have a screenshot of this, or if you want, you can try 34, 23, 40, and then column B, 45, 32. Again, we have the same sample size, 10, 10. Why? Because we have only one group of students, one group only. They just had the pre and then post. Okay, alongside the experiment, 2 students transferred to another school. So making this 8, take away the first 2, so that this would be 8, 8. Taking the upper part of the Excel environment here, this will appear. Choose t-test paired to sample from means. Click OK. Very easy. It has been given for us researchers. Excel does a good job for us who wants to explore statistics. Then this would pop out asking us for the data A1 to A10. This will appear. Click here. Okay. Then drag the mouse B1, B10. Don't forget this one. Sometimes you have previously used your Excel setting it to 0.01, and it will remain when you close. When you open again, it's still 0.01. So don't forget to verify this 0.05. This can be changed 0.01, 0.1. Okay. Click OK. And this is the environment. Look for p-value to 10. Before that, you may want to look at the mean. Yes, it did increase. 31.3 goes to 39, something like 8.7 increase. But is the increase significant? Okay. Is the increase significant? P-value is 0.0149. Compare it with the alpha value 0.05. Since it is less than, we say there is significant difference between the scores of the students before and after the term. The professor is doing good. He is providing the learners the opportunity to grow. He needs to continue with this strategy, something like that. So that is, if it's correlated, can be applied for action research. And we have participants still with us computing, submitting the answer. Thank you po. Wala po at mayroon pa tayong kausap. Meron pang nag-operate sa Excel. Salamat po. Wrapping up, I have, before that, the exercise 5 in the classroom. This is a good example of students who are living far from the school. So he decided to provide bicycle. Generous po. How about us? What do we want to provide to the students and develop an action research? Generous bicycle, right? So he has the data for the 5 students before and after giving them the bicycle. Then in the Google Classroom, we're asked to provide the stat, the critical, and the value. Naandun po yan sa Excel. Ano po? Stat. I-critical, yung two-tail po piliin natin. I-value, two-tail. Then put here less than, greater than, equal. Then say, there is a or there is no. Very simple exercise that tool can be used to describe, etc.
So, bali doon na po natapos yung kay sir. Magpapa-quiz na lang po siya ng matching type. Pero tayo po ay, ayan, since, ma'am, ilang oras pa po, pero parang 3:30 na. Saan nga pa tayo? Ay, dito, sorry. So, yun. So, yung huli po niya ay, stop sharing na po ako. So yung huli po niyang statistical treatment na diniscuss ay yung t-test correlation. Ang sineset up naman po nun ay yung tinatawag na significant increase ng performance. Pero yun po yung magandang gamitin natin mga educators. Nakita nyo naman po yung last niya na sample. Tiningnan niya kung effective ba yung turo ng teacher gamit ang result ng pre-test and post-test. So nakita niya na may significant increase sa mean at significant increase din, significant difference din dun sa grades nila from mababa to maas. So I think yun po yung pinakamagandang gamitin for action research. So, kung ang action research mo ay may kinalaman sa relationship, halimbawa, ano ba yung pwede nating i-measure sa mga bata na may kinalaman sa kanilang performance? Okay? Ang naalala ko nun sa aking stat teacher ay kailangan ay measurable. Okay? Na may measure siya, may number, may numerical value. Ano po? Kasi naglagay ako dati noon ng kung mahirap or mayaman yung bata, ay yung teacher or yung SPA, ay na-reject siya. May kinalaman ba yung yaman ng teacher dun sa performance niya bilang SPA at hindi siya na-approve, na-reject po siya. So, hindi daw po kasi ma-measure yun. Maliban kung pinalitan mo ng monthly income kasi magiging numbers na siya. Ano po? So, yun. So, yun yung ginamit namin na indicators dun sa isang study namin na yun. Ayan. So, when it comes to kids, yan. So, para mas safe tayo, kasi kung, ayun, mahirap kasing ayan. At nakikita ko po dun sa mga sinadjust natin kanina, dun sa topic ni before lunch tayo, ni Ma'am Isel, ay since meron na tayong mga nasa isip na ano kaya yung statistical treatment na pwede natin gamitin para ma-measure yung mga naiisip natin? Kasi hindi po siya magiging research kapag walang numbers, walang statistical treatment. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, tumaas naman yung nakita ko. Hindi pwede pong gano'n. Kailangan ng ebidensya gamit ang numbers, gamit ang statistics. Yan. So with that, ayan. At dahil alam kong lahat kayo ay nakatuon sa ating tawag dito, sa ating speaker, ayan. Lahat kayo ay tutok na tutok kung paano ba gamitin ang ating Excel para makapag-treat ng data. Ayan, magkakaroon tayo ng quiz, syempre. Ano po, alam kong, or tatawag ako isa-isa, at pa, hindi. Quiz na lang po, Okay, so, please join this. Tatype ko po sa, ayan. Nasa na po natin, joinmyquiz.com. Ang code po natin ay 184069. 184069. Ayan. Ano po? So, hintayin ko po kayo. Yan. As of now, wala pa pong participants. Yan. So, bago tayo magtapos. So, habang ako'y naghihintay, para saan nga ba yung research? So, search lang ako sa YouTube, sa Google, at ito yung lumabas. Kasi ano nga bang tulong ng research? So sa atin, sa educator, syempre, para sa education, para sa mga bata or para sa problem na masosolve natin gamit yung research sa mga paaralan. Pero all throughout the world, ito yung nakita ko, yung fun facts ng, yan, nakikita po ba? Ayan, pala. Share ko lang, habang meron na po akong 4 na participants na matatapang. Wala pong computation to, wag po kayong mag-alala. Kung may computation man, gagamit tayo ng Excel. Ayan, saka hinabaan ko po yung oras. So meron na po akong 4 dito, si Ma'am Noemi, si Ma'am Yel, si Ma'am Ruth, at si Ma'am Lil. Si Ma'am Lali nandito na rin po. Yan, so kung nakikita nyo po sa screen, ito yung mga nakuha natin na research. Ayan, tingnan nyo to. Number 1 na pinaka-cool na ginawa ng mga researchers ay Researchers at the University of Rochester have built the first invisibility clock. Wow. Yan, no, di ba? Ayan yung mga nagagawa ng research. Ano? Okay, sabihin natin, ay, sa education common lang yun eh. Ano, pero ito talaga yan. Katulad niya, no? Para ka ng si Harry Potter nan. Ano, kung nagbabasa kayo ng book, Invisibility Clock, kung napanood yung movie, yan. Yung first movie, mayroon yatang Invisibility Clock doon. Number 2, research suggests that the more ethnically diverse an area is, the less people are likely to trust each other. Yan. Kapag daw iba-iba ang mga naandun sa isang lugar, iba-ibang lahi, hindi sila or mahirap sila magtiwala sa isa't isa. Yan yung mga nakukuha ng mga research. Ano po? So far, may 7 na po tayo. Number 3. So, hintayin po natin yung iba or okay na po tayo sa 7. So, ang last na pumasok po ay si Sir Lito. Ayan. Ano ko po, nakamonitor po dito sa cellphone. Kahanap pa tayo ng cool na ginawa ng research. Ayan, oh. Research found that religious and non-religious people are equally likely to misbehave. Yeah. Yan. Religyoso ka man daw o hindi, ay may parehas kayong chance na mag-misbehave ayon sa research. Ayan. At marami pang iba. So maraming cool na nabibigay sa atin, yung mga cool things na nadidiscover yung mga researchers. Ayon. Number 16. Research has shown that people are happiest at 7:26 p.m. on Saturday night. Bakit kaya? Okay. So marami po ito. 100 po ito na fun facts. Search nyo lang po sa Google. Pero yan. Ito yung may brain. Okay. Researchers have found that people are more willing to disclose personal information if you make them laugh. So yun. Mas. Yan. So check natin kung ilan na po ang nasa quizzes. Nine na po. How about po yung iba? Dito pa po ba kayo? So, 9 na po kami at tayo po ay 22 sa room. Tingnan niyo po ito. Research has found that 20% bump in Facebook use equated with an over 2% bump in divorce rates between 2008 and 2010. Yung mga nakilala lang daw po sa Facebook ay mas mataas ng 2% na mag-divorce. Ayan. Yung mga napag-aralan nila. So, ganyan po kakul ang research. Ayan. So, start na po tayo mag-present at mag-start na po tayo ng quiz natin. So, 10 na po tayo. 10 na. Madali lang naman po to para lang meron tayong output. Kasi, ayan. Start ko na po ba yung 10? Yung iba po ba? So, ulitin ko lang po yung ating Ayan, 11 na po. Si Sir Roque yung huli. Wala pong computation. Huwag po kayo mag-alala. So, start na po tayo para hindi tayo hapunin ng 4. Po. Start ko na po ito. Habol na lang po kayo. Enter nyo lang po yung tamang code. And then, lalabas na po yan. Sige po. Yan, so nangunguna po as of now ay si Ma'am Lali with 1,850 points. Wala pa pong mali si Ma'am Lali at si Ma'am Den. Yan. Basahin pong mabuti. Yun. Tapos na po si Ma'am Kim at si Ma'am Ruth. Sige po, kaya nyo yan. So tatlo na po yung tapos, si Ma'am Kim, si Ma'am Karen, at si Ma'am Ruth. Congratulations po, dalawa po yata yung mali. 80% ba to? Wait lang. Yan, okay. Oh. Yon. Perfect. Si Ma'am Lali, wala pang mali. Yan. So, tapos na po ang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 na po yung tapos. 6 po. Yan. Napakagaling naman po talaga ni Ma'am Lali at ni Sir Roque. Para sa ating post-test. Yan. So, naghihintay na lang po tayo ng isa, dalawa, tatlo. Tatlo na lang po. 4. Yun. Yan, so parang si Ma'am Cruz at si Sir Emil ba to ay nawala sa hindi nadadagdag yung nila, yung answers. So ito po yung top 5 natin. Screenshot ko na lang. Okay. So si Ma'am Lali, si Sir Roque, si Ma'am Den, si Kimi at si Ma'am Shirley. 6 si Ma'am Lil, si Ma'am Ruth, si Sergio, si Ma'am Noemi at si Ma'am Yel. Yan. So yun po yung top 10 natin. So screenshot ko lang po ito at isasend ko kay Sir Roque mamaya. Para sa ating output. Yan. Okay na po. So yan. So kung may idadagdag po or may questions, pwede pong magtanong po today or ngayon. Kung may tanong pa po kayo sa Yes, Ma'am Jo.
With open cam. To Ma'am Corazon Navarez, our dear principal, feeling ko po kailangan po natin si Sir Matt sa ating research team as our statistician. I highly suggest po our statistician, Sir Matrin V. De Lima.
Pag ganun. Bakit? Hindi, joke lang po. Sige, okay lang naman po. Excel naman ang gagamitin.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Mami sound.
Magandang sound dyan. Ayan, okay. So, yung suggestion ni Ma'am Jo na isasama natin sa research team si Sir Matt. Okay, sige. Sasama natin.
Si ma'am pala yun. Sige po, ma'am. Okay po.
Kasi,
salamat po.
nag-hack na yung phone ko. Okay, kung hindi ako makakaabot sa closing program, alam niyo na yung challenge ko, bibigay ko na. Uwi na kasi ako. So, yung challenge ko is, I hope na ang lahat ay makasulat ng kani-kaniyang action research. So, nagdi-discuss pa si Sir Matt.
Ma'am, tapos na po. Okay na, ma'am.
Tapos na? Okay, sige ha. Kasi sabi ko, tuloy pa ba? Kasi kanina pa ako nakahang pala. Sige, thank you.
Hello po. Ma'am Yel? Okay na po. Yung pong may mga questions po, pwede pa rin po siguro.
Okay, so yan. Thank you very much, Sir Matrin De Lima. Talaga namang matinik, No, yan. You are highly recommended to become the statistician of our school research group. And congratulations for a job well done this afternoon. At talaga namang medyo nakakadugo ng ilong, kasi ay talagang puro numbers. But as of now nga, ang sabi nga ng sir, diba, meron na naman tayo ngayong Excel. Yun na nga lang, kailangan ay medyo expert din tayo sa paggamit. Kasi kailangan alam din natin kung paano i-apply yung mga ang tawag dito, yung mga keys na nasa Excel natin for us to get the correct answer, and at the same time kung paano din natin i-apply yung bawat yung pagkuha ng mean, ng median, yung mga ganyan, yung mga standard deviation na yan. And bumalik tayo dun sa mga pinag-aralan natin before, diba? So as of now, ang sabi nga ng sir ay medyo mas pinadali kasi ay meron na tayong mga nagagamit through the help of our technology na pwede nating i-apply as of now. So by the way, congratulations Sir Matrin De Lima for a very good discussion ng ating last topic this afternoon. Research statistic and making it easy. Talagang napadali. Napadali nga natin lahat, diba? Napadali ba talaga mga teachers?
Somehow.
Yan, somehow daw. So, ibig sabihin, ready na din si Ma'am Jo.
Somehow.
Okay. Maybe that is the reason kasi nung nga din po ako ng master's degree, yun nga lang, masteral, nakakuha lang ako ng unit. And most of the time, share ko lang most of the time, merong mga napunta doon. Ang professor ko kasi ay si Dr. Yambao ng LSPU. So, siguro isa siya sa mga statisticians, and then sabi niya ay, ganito, ganyan. Sabi ko, ano kaya yun? Tapos ngayon ko lang naintindihan din na talagang napakalaki talaga ng magiging parte ng statistician para mapagtagumpayan ng isang research sa ating pong school at ginagawa ding research ng mga teachers para sa kanilang mga estudyante. So that's why, through the help of Sir Matrin, and recommended by Ma'am Josephine Marasigan, isang napakalaking tulong po ang pag-oo nyo po to become part of our research team para po sa ating paaralan. So yan, again, congratulations. At sa lahat po ng mga resource speakers from yesterday up to this time, yan kay Sir Matrin na last speaker po natin. So sino-sino ba yung mga resource speakers natin kahapon? So ang una natin kahapon ay si Ma'am Karen, tama po ba? So si Ma'am Karen ang ating speaker yesterday. Saglit, nasan pa ba yung aking kopya? Sino-sino nga kahapon? Ayan, na-blanko na ako.
Ma'am Yel, si Ma'am si Ma'am, ano pa, si Ma'am Karen, si Ma'am Limisinda, at saka si Sir Joey.
Yan, oo nga po, sir. Thank you very much po. So, si Ma'am Karen, si Ma'am Lemisinda, at si Sir Joel. So, yan, medyo na-blanko na ako. Ano po? And this day, ang ating pong naging speaker ay si Ma'am Josephine B. Marsigan, si Ma'am Sahara Teresa D. Cruz, si Ma'am Ana Criselda L. Galiste, si Ma'am Maiden U.S. Lera, at si Sir Matrin de Lima. And again, to all the speakers, simula kahapon hanggang ngayon po, congratulations sa lahat po ng inyong na-share sa amin. And of course, I would like to say thank you sa ating pong overall chairman, ang Ma'am Corazon M. Navarez, chairman ng Planning Committee, Roque D. Montserrat. Ang co-chairman po niya ay si Ma'am Eulalia M. Collantes. Ang chairman po ng Technical Committee ay si Sir Jonathan, co-chairman Ma'am Leanne S. Bolotano, sa documentation po ang grade 3 certificates, grade 5 teachers, and of course for our registration na ginawa po natin from yesterday up today, I see Ma'am Ruby S. Atienza. And we will proceed sa atin pong closing program. So, ididire-diretso ko na po, Sir Rick, ha? And naandyan pa po ba ang Ma'am Corazon or na uuwi na po ba siya?
Ma'am, nakasakay na po.
Okay, pero nakapagbigay naman po ng challenge ang Ma'am Cora. Ano po sa ating lahat? At ang challenge nga po ng Ma'am ay lahat po daw tayo ay tutupad sa hinihingi po ng ating tungkulin bilang mga guro po ng Dayap Elementary School. And alam ko naman po na we as teachers of Dayap Elementary School, we are all ready to face the challenge and to accept the challenge of Ma'am Corazon Navarez, that we will do our part, our duty as a teacher of Dayap Elementary School, that no matter what happened, helping hands po nating tawag dito, helping hands po nating gagawin ang ating po mga task. At nandiyan naman po ang ating mga ma'am and mga sir na mag-guide po sa atin para po mapagtagumpayan natin ang research work natin po. No po? So yun. And pupunta na po tayo sa awarding of certificates. So at this moment, tinatawagan ko po ang mga grade 5 teachers sa pangunguna po ng Ma'am Kate Kimberly ADS for the awarding of certificates. Thank you and good afternoon.
Good afternoon po sa ating lahat. Naririnig po ba ako?
Yes po, ma'am. Medyo mahina lang po ng konti.
Okay, wait. Mahina pa rin po.
So, rinig naman po, ma'am.
Okay po, sige po. So, magpe-present na po ako. Ma'am, kita po ba?
Yes, Ma'am Kim, kita po.
Yes po.
Yes.
So, basahin ko po muna yung citation. Certificate of Appreciation is hereby awarded to for the technical assistance extended to our school during its School Learning Action Cell seminar on action research with the team First Online School Capacity Building on Basic Education Research for Dayap Elementary School Main Teaching Personnel held at Dayap Elementary School on December 9 to 10, 2021, and given this 10th day of December 2021 at Dayap Elementary School, Calauan, Laguna, signed by our own principal, Ma'am Corazon M. Navarez, and to give this certificate of appreciation to Ma'am Lucia F. Pagalanan, and also to our district supervisor, Ma'am Ginalyn B. Freyo, And for the certificate of recognition, this certificate is hereby awarded to for her active participation as the overall chairman of the technical working group during the School Learning Action Cell seminar on action research with the team First Online School Capacity Building on Basic Education Research for Dayap Elementary School main teaching personnel, and given this 10th day of December 2021 at Dayap Elementary School, Calauan, Laguna, and signed by our district supervisor, Ma'am Gina Lenby Preo. This certificate is awarded to Ma'am Corazon M. Navarez. And for the active participation as the chairman of planning committee during the School Learning Action Cell seminar on action research, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Sir Roque D. Montserrat. And for her active participation as the co-chairman of planning committee during the School Learning Action Cell seminar on action research, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Mrs. Eulalia M. Colliantes. And for his active participation as the chairman of technical committee during the SLAC seminar on action research, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Sir Jonathan S. Paroan. And for her active participation as the co-chairman of technical committee during the SLAC seminar on action research, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Mrs. Leanne S. Bolotano. And for her active participation as a member of documentation committee during the SLAC seminar on action research, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Mrs. Joanne G. Fortuna. And also for her active participation as a member of documentation committee during the SLAC seminar on action research, the certificate of recognition is awarded to Mrs. Shirley M. Comendador. And also, her active participation as a member of documentation committee during the SLAC seminar on action research, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Mrs. Maria Miriel V. Pagco. And also, for his active participation as a member of documentation committee during the SLAC seminar on action research, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Sir Roque D. Montserrat. And also, for her active participation as a member of in charge for the certificates during the SLAC seminar on action research, this certificate is awarded to Mrs. Eulalia M. Colliantes, Mr. Matrin M. De Lima, Mr. Matrin V. De Lima, sorry po, by yours truly, Miss Lil Karen C. Sanchez, Sir Manolito E. Atienza, and Sir Emil S. Cosa. And this certificate of recognition is awarded to Mrs. Ruby S. Atienza for her active participation as the one in charge of the registration during the SLAC seminar on action research. Congratulations po. And also, as a member of the technical working group during the School Learning Action Cell seminar on action research, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Mrs. Noemi D. Nomo. And also, one of the member also of the technical working group, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Mrs. Ana Criselda L. Galiste. And also to Mrs. Ferlin R. Sinahon. Okay, punta na po tayo sa resource speaker. So this certificate of recognition is awarded to for her active participation or his or her active participation as one of the resource speaker during the School Learning Action Cell seminar in action research with the team First Online School Capacity Building on Basic Education Research for Dayap Elementary School main teaching personnel, held at Dayap Elementary School on December 9 to 10, 2021, given this 10th day of December 2021 at Dayap Elementary School, Calauan, Laguna. Signed by our principal, Corazon M. Navarez. So this certificate of recognition is awarded to Mrs. Josephine D. Marsigan, Mrs. Sahara Teresa D. Cruz, Mr. Matrin V. De Lima, Mr. Francis Joel A. Carlobos, Mrs. Maiden U. Eslera, Mrs. Ana Crizelda L. Galiste, Miss Lil Karen C. Sanchez, and also Mrs. Lemesinda H. Yuga. And for active participation during the SLAC seminar on action research, certificate of participation is awarded to Mrs. Eulalia M. Colliantes, Mrs. Josephine B. Marsigan, Mrs. Sahara Teresa D. Cruz, Mrs. Sonia S. Pareña, Mr. Matrin V. De Lima, Mrs. Maiden U. Eslera, Mrs. Rochelle A. Sudebe, Mr. Roque D. Montserrat, Mrs. Ana Crizelda L. Galiste, Miss Lil Karen C. Sanchez, Mrs. Lemesinda H. Yuga, Mr. Francis Joel A. Carlobos, Mr. Jonathan S. Paroan, Mr. Manolito E. Atienza, Mrs. Ruby S. Atienza, Mrs. Shirley M. Comendador, Mrs. Marife Z. Paroan, Mrs. Nona S. Ison, Mrs. Ferlin R. Sinahon, Mrs. Melanie J. Jego, Mrs. Lainey Z. Gutierrez, Mrs. Honoria Z. Marikit, Mrs. Virginia S. Agbin, Mrs. Leanne S. Bolotano, Mrs. Joanne G. Fortuna, Mrs. May Andrea G. Napisa, Mrs. Noemi D. Nomo, Mrs. Maria Miriel V. Pagco, and Mrs. Kate Kimberly A. Diaz, Mr. Emil S. Gosa, and Miss Ruth B. Durante. And para naman po sa isa pang award, Certificate of Appreciation, tinatawagan ko po si Sir Roque Montserrat para po ibigay ang certificate na ito. Thank you po.
Thank you po, Ma'am Kim. Para po sa special award na to, ito po ay ibibigay natin sa isa nating kasamahan dito na lagi nating natatap as our moderator or MC. So napakarami na sa habang panahon na dito pa ang si Ma'am Maylene sa district natin na siya ay naging moderator at MC din si Ma'am Maria Merel Bipago. So I'm going to read the citation, special award to kay Ma'am Mariel Bipago for being our MC for quite a long time. A certificate of appreciation is hereby awarded to Ms. Maria Mariel Bipago for her being so cooperative when tasked to become the MC or moderator during the previous and past webinars we had, whether in the school or in the district level. Her efforts, time spent, and quick response when asked to perform the task are well acknowledged or well valued. The citation proves her excellence in leading the seminar or webinar to its success. Given this 10th day of December 2021 at the Elementary School, Dayap, Laguna, signed by our principal, Ma'am Corazon M. Navarre. So the certificate of appreciation is hereby awarded to Mrs. Maria Meriel B. Pagco.
Congratulations po.
Ako, sir. My pleasure po. So hanggat may boses po, ay karangalan ko po kayong paglingkurang lahat.
Okay po, ma'am. Salamat po ng maraming, Ma'am Yel. Okay po. Back to you po, Ma'am Yel, for the conclusion ng ating salamat po.
So yan, thank you very much Ma'am Kate Kimberly Diaz and also to Sir Rick Montserrat. So yan, nakakataba naman po ng puso. Ano po? At wag po kayong mag-alala. Hanggat ako po ay may boses, ay akin pong paglilingkuran po ang lahat. Ano po? And so yan, congratulations po sa ating lahat. Simula sa speakers, And of course, sa lahat po ng mga masusugid na guro ng Dayap Elementary School na talaga naman pong sumama at hindi po bumitaw sa ating pong webinar na ito. Ano po? And of course, I would like to congratulate also ang chairman po ng planning committee na ito, no other than Sir Roque D. Monserrat, na siya po ang, if I'm not mistaken, siya po ang head ng action research po natin, ano po, together with Ma'am Corazon Navarez. And we do believe na ang bawat isa po ay makikipag-participate, and at the same time, maitatawid po natin ang challenge ng Ma'am Cora that no matter what happened, ang Dayap teachers po ay laging angat pa rin po. Ano po? So yan, nagkaroon na po tayo ng awarding of certificates po, mga ma'am and sir. At yan po ay pwede na po nating makuha sa ating pong school, or kung sino man po ang nakatalaga, malaman na lang po natin sa ating Ma'am Kate Kimberly Alvarez at Diaz, at sa iba po pong mga teachers ng grade 5. And now, we will proceed to the closing remarks at tinatawagan ko na po ang isa pang guro ng Dayap Elementary School. Wala pong iba kung hindi ang Ma'am Eulalia M. Colliantes. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon po uli. Thank you, Ma'am Yel Fabco. Ito po ang aking closing remarks sa araw na ito, sa pagtatapos po ng ating 2 days seminar. To the heads of our department in the division level, bagamat hindi po natin sila nakapiling, alam ko na may pagmamalaki po nila ang Dayap Elementary School dahil nagkaroon tayo ng ganitong seminars about research. And to all the members of the faculty of Dayap Elementary School, headed by our dear principal, Ma'am Corazon M. Navarez, a warm afternoon greeting to all of us. Una po sa lahat ay ang aking malugod na pagbati sa ating lahat sa matagumpay na pagdaraos ng first online school research for Dayap Elementary teaching personnel. Ang mga bagay na natutunan natin sa pagdalo sa seminar na ito ang magiging angkla natin sa paggawa ng sarili natin o kahit bilang isang grupo na action research o ang basic research na siguradong makakatulong sa ating mga mag-aaral maging sa paaralan man sa kabuuan. All that we have to do is to have the confidence and firm desire to carry out research once we determine that there is a dire need to conduct one. Sa mga naging tagapagsalita, ang aking pagbati sa inyo for a job well done. Ganon din po sa mga aktibong guro na nakilahok sa palihang ito na mga sincere upang malaman kung ano ang action research, ang gamit at kahalagahan nito. Lastly, I can prove and say again and again that the teachers of Dayap Elementary School ay di lang pang-academic, pang-sports, pang-extracurricular, kung hindi may potential din sa research preparation para na marisolba ang mga suliranin o problema sa ating pagtuturo at kung paano natin ito mapagtatagumpayan. Once again, congratulations and mabuhay sa ating lahat. Thank you po, Ma'am Yel.
Okay, so maraming salamat po, Ma'am Lali Colliantes. And sabi nga, kung ang batang Dayap laging angat, hindi pa iiwan ang mga guro, diba? So before we end our session this afternoon, may I request everybody to please turn on your camera para po sa ating photo op. So yan. So, pa-open na lang po nung camera nung iba, mga ma'am. And sir. So, yan. Ang gaganda pa rin ng smile, ano? Yan ang ano yan ang asset ng Dayap Elementary School eh. So, kahit maghapon, talaga naman. Kapag sinabing, picture, talaga namang ang smile. Naka-ready, no? Naka-ready. So, yan. Sir Jo, kayo na po ang bahala. Okay, before pala tayo mag-end mga ma'am and sir, atin munang kantahan ang Ma'am Fe kasi baka ma-invite pa tayo sa kanila para makapag this afternoon. Ano po? So yan, kasi nga, happy birthday to Ma'am Margaret Roan.
Paroan. Birthday.
Salamat po.
Happy birthday.
Salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Birthday, Marce.
Thank you po.
Birthday.
Later you will receive the gift for Jonathan Roan.
Birthday po.
Okay, salamat po sa inyo. Sa lahat po na nag-participate.
Mama.
Happy birthday!
Maraming.
Parang nag-raise po ng hand ang Ma'am Sahara. Ma'am Sahara, meron po ba kayong idagdag?
Hindi mo nag-check. On ka pa.
Sir, hindi ka po namin narinig.
Sir, wala kang sound.
Mahina po, ma'am.
Mahina po.
Mahina po.
Patayin ko lang po, naka-speaker kasi pala. Patayin ko lang. Kapo doon sa year-end natin, Friday na pala yun. Hindi pa alam kung anong place ng ano natin. Kung sa resort ba tayo, may nag-maapila pa ng beach. Ma'am Sexy?
Meron pang Tagaytay daw, ma'am.
O, doon na lang po kay Sir Matt na sinasabi para yung transpo natin, pwede na nga rin tamang iparapol natin. Ibili natin ng pamparapol din sa teachers. Ano po talaga? Tsaka yung deadline po ng payment natin kay Ma'am Pe. Paano po? Kailan po ang deadline, Ma'am Pe?
Monday po.
Asan ang ating birthday?
Kung sa Friday na po, dapat po mga Tuesday o Wednesday po.
Sige po, di so Tuesday o Wednesday po ang ating deadline talaga? So ano po? Kasi po kung sa resort, sure na. Ay, pero kung mas maganda rin yung ano ni Sir Matt, para yung ano, yung babayad natin sa transpo, pwede nga naman pang ano na natin, pang parapol na rin natin. Ano po maganda?
Kahit saan, sa resort, sa beach, sa school, saan.
Mami, ocular niyo po muna kaya. Ocular.
Sige, sir.
Sir, bro, parang wala nang time pag nag-ocular, kung 1 week na lang po.
Hindi mo, saglit lang naman po yung dito eh. Kahit po saglitin.
Ang lali ang sa resort kasi yung si Sai, nag-ocular sa birthday ng apo ko. Tatanungin ko na lang kung magkano yung niya, yung puntahan niya. Tatanungin ko kung magkano yung payment do sa resort na pinuntahan niya. Tapos tanong na rin natin kay Sir Matt kung magkano doon sa maghapon yung sa resort na malapit lang sa kanila. Tsaka na lang natin pagpilian. Ano po?
Chair, mas mabuti pa
Okay
yun.
lang po yun?
Lahat po kaya.
Mga ma'am, permission to speak po. Sure. Kasi dito po sa tabi namin, meron din pong resort. Itong kay na Marina. Itatry ko po kung pwede po dito. Itatanong ko po kung magkano. Kasi yung nila parang sapat naman po sa bilang po nating mga teachers.
Kung magre-resort tayo, dapat
basta na,
kung magre-resort tayo, dapat
natin yung kay Sir Matt, kayo Ma'am Yel, at saka yung sa akin, tatanungin ko din, sa Monday natin pag-usapan kung saan. Ano, ma'am?
Mga ma'am, ako walang bata, ha? Ako lang concern sa mga bata, malamig. Dapat ang hanapin natin medyo, hot spring. Kasi pag may kasama kayong mga bata.
Sabi ni Ma'am Cora, walang bata.
Ay, wala? Okay.
Ma'am, wala nga bata. Walang bata. Sa Monday na lang po, yung kay Sir Matt, tsaka yung kay Ma'am Yel, tsaka yung sa akin, malaman na lang natin para ma-finalize na natin. Tapos ang deadline po ng payment natin ay till Wednesday. Okay na po.
Ano nga po?
800 po.
800 po
So,
yan.
yung halimbawa, kung ang mapipili ay yung kay Sir Matt, basta kung may susobra, iparapol na lang po lahat para masaya. Tama po ba ga?
Ang laki, untik na ako nahimatay.
Kasi wala ka pala nung meeting. Ayan. Sorry, napag-usapan na. So, majority win.
100? Di pa ginawang 1,000 ng...
1,000 po talaga yun, ma'am.
Ma'am!
400 po muna.
200 pa yung exchange
gift. 1,000 lang. Huwag kang magalala.
1,000 po talaga yun, ma'am.
Ano, ma'am? Okay. Okay na po.
Sige po. Okay, Sir John, nakapag-picture na po ba tayo?
Okay po, sige, Ma'am Yan.
Yes po.
So, ayan. At ipa-finalize na lang po siguro natin by Monday po, mga ma'am. Pero ang pinakamahalaga po ay we need to be ready dun po sa amount na ipe-pledge po natin para po sa ating pong year-end party. Kasi madali na pong mag-finalize ng mga activities o kung ano man pong mga palaro, bibilhin kapag naka-ready na po yung fund natin.
Okay po. Thank you po. Thank you po sa lahat.
So ayan, again, congratulations po. And sa tingin ko naman po ay successful po ang ating pong Slack. And maraming salamat po sa lahat po ng mga teachers together with all the speakers headed by Ma'am Corazon Navarez. Again, good day everybody. Thank you.
Thank you po. Salamat po ulit sa lahat. Lubos pong pasasalamat po sa lahat ng mga teachers na nag-participate. Salamat po.
Bye po. Thank you.
Thank you po. Goodbye.
My job is to make college easier because students have a lot on their
Sorry, Coach.